So is your clock synced up?
It should be, David. I've got us going in 20 seconds mark.
Correct. Ready?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this first Monday of March. If it's March, therefore, there must be madness. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Rick Church is in the cozy confines of the 239, although he's in a new home. And for those in Southwest Florida, we're on new stations. So we'll try to help you out. Make sure you can find us. But of course, there's Twitch, there's YouTube, plenty of apps. Mark, how was your weekend?
My weekend, you know what, Dave? My life is pretty much the same. I'm in my small little apartment. I walk down to the kitchen area in a little cubby for people that are dealing with what I'm dealing with, so I don't have to kind of deal with the general public because that's bad. I eat there, and then I come back up to my room. Now, it was good because there was a transfer of, I have to have someone with me 24/7. So between my mother and my wife, they are taking turns. The one nice thing about the wife being here, well, there's many nice things about the wife being here, but one of the things that helps me out is that they want me to walk every day. The wife can walk with me. I'm not allowed to be alone. So we go for a nice stroll, went by where the new stadium's being built because where I'm at is on the USF campus in Tampa. So went for a nice stroll past the Yingling Center and the new football stadium that's being built. But see, Mom can't keep up. So I'm stuck walking on a treadmill. So I didn't really leave the facility much over the weekend, particularly on Sunday. So
Gotcha.
Kind of lockdown, but it's all right. I get by.
Gotcha.
You know, one Publix run, David. That's all I got.
Now, I'm curious, can you know how sometimes you're with someone, but, you know, let's just say, you know, like a lap around the lake is, you know, 3/4 of a mile, but there's a bench that someone can sit at, and then they can watch you run the lap. Okay. Can you go somewhere and can Mom sit down and then you walk the lap, or does she have to be next to you?
There's nowhere where she could see me. There's no lap per se. I mean,
Gotcha.
You know, this is a big college campus. There are lots of buildings. There are
Right.
plenty of things that would be in the way. So, no, not really. You know,
Gotcha.
unless she was going to, you know, be like Rocky IV and drive the car very slowly chasing me.
It always comes back to Rocky on
right
this
it does.
show.
If I can get it
Golly.
there, I'm going to get it there.
Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. So for those in the 239, I guess here's what you need to know. New ownership has moved the sports radio in that market to new signals. And you can find this show on 103.3, 105.9, or 94.1, depending on where it is you live, along with 92.5 HD2, 93.7 HD2. You got twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton. You got the Miller and Moulton YouTube channel,
which is simply youtube.com/Miller and Moulton. Very easy. You know, the iHeart app, FLalumniradio.com carries the show. So there are plenty of places to find Miller and Moulton. if those frequencies don't work for you.
Right. And in Southwest Florida, I guess you're only going to hear the first 3 hours live on the radio. We will continue to broadcast the fourth hour because it airs in Tampa, St. Pete, and Jacksonville. And so there are plenty of places for you to then go and find it. I had a good weekend. All right. I felt good. I had felt horrible last week and got worse as the week went on. And then, but felt good over the weekend. So therefore, I had a good weekend for, just sitting around talking about how was your weekend, et cetera, et cetera. Watched a little sports, spent some time with family. And,
I saw a photo of you and the granddaughter. You looked good.
Yeah, she had a sleepover Saturday night into Sunday. And so, yeah,
Are you, boy, this is going to come off bad. I got to try to phrase this properly to not anger you.
No, you
and
don't.
have the a-hole moment be at 6:06.
Well, heck, we've had it sometimes at 5:43, just nobody's heard it. So it's okay.
That's true. But I can see you, throwing a ball with a kid. I can see you doing a lot of things with the grandson, granddaughter. But I can't see you, like coloring, doing a puzzle. Those do not seem to be Moulton things. Are you?
Really?
Yeah, to me,
wow.
I mean,
No,
maybe teaching her how to write words on a blue index card to let her know what to tell grandma may be something that you would excel in. But I didn't think coloring and or puzzles would be it. What is the childhood activity that the granddaughter likes to do with granddad or papa or whatever it is they call you the most?
Grandpa, by the way,
okay,
is apparently what she settled on. And I could see where you would think that every time she comes over, we have like a word of the day. If so,
Right.
I mean, we've worked our way from snark to sarcasm to right. So, no, in all seriousness, I'm a typical, stereotypical, I think, grandparent where, I may be a certain way with adults, but, whatever the granddaughter wants is fine by me as long as she behaves. So, I mean, there was a time where she was playing and she put all her dolls on me. So I was sitting there on the couch. I had like 5 dolls on me. Okay. She loves puzzles. All right. We sit down, we do puzzles all the time. Mark, we got a thing right now. It's called science. That's what it's been called. It's science. And basically we get this big plastic tub and we're just pouring a bunch of stuff in it and, making sounds and, things bubble up and what have you. And she said, "What is this?" And we said, "It's science." And so now she comes over and she says, "I want to do science." Okay. And we end up throwing marshmallows in the science and sprinkles and all colorings and all sorts of things. And then it just sits there for the
You're going to
weekend.
have to teach her one thing with that.
Mhm.
At some point, you're going to have to cover your eyes after she throws something in there and yell, "She blinded me with science," and
right.
see if that can stick.
Already did that once with the wife. Okay. And she, of course, it went, granddaughter doesn't understand that yet. That'll be next weekend, I guess. Have to show her the video first.
I'm wondering maybe if you could throw to transition to sports, but I'm wondering if you could throw college basketball teams in there because it was an interesting weekend once again. Michigan pounded Illinois on Friday night. I mean, they just took it to them in the second half.
Yeah. What did Brad Underwood said? They basically took a belt to our butt.
Yeah. They went all Michael Irvin on the Illini. Saturday, Kentucky had a really nice win at home against Vanderbilt. Florida looked really good.
Wow.
Florida looked really good. Was emailing with one of our listeners. He's a big Gator, and he sent me an email, and I just said the same thing. I don't think they can be a 1. I don't think they have a shot at a 1. But whatever bracket that they show up in, whatever region, whether they're a 2 or a 3, someone's going, oh, crap. because they are peaking at the right time. They really are.
What will be interesting, it's tough. I mean, UConn did it a couple years ago. It's tough to get to that level leading into the tournament and stay at that level for all 6 games. You usually have the 1 C+ game, and can you survive it? And the Gators haven't had a C+ in a while.
No,
does it come in
3-4 weeks, David?
Right. Does it come in the SEC tournament, or does it come, Sweet 16 of the tournament? But, or are we going to go, damn, it's 06, 07 again?
Right. Or maybe they slip up in the second round where they're able to beat a team that's inferior to them with that C+ game.
Right.
I will say, kind of like UConn did on Saturday. UConn played Seton Hall. They looked like crap, but they got it together in the last 7 minutes and were able to get out of Dodge with a victory.
Well, it helps when you have, home court. There's 2 factors. One, it's the last place that we think the crowd has an impact, but what's the biggest impact the crowd has? All right, on the officiating. And the officials bailed UConn out Saturday for senior day at Stores. They did. Seton Hall got zebred it all throughout that game. They got zebred, but it happens. But it usually doesn't happen in a tournament game.
Well, no more home court. I mean,
right.
Yeah, you could be in a region where you're close to home, but you don't, and they'll have a crowd. There are certain teams, and UConn's they're not Kentucky, if you know what I mean. They're nowhere in that area code.
Think of how good the 2 line is going to be in this tournament. Think about it. Right now, I guess the talk is what the Big 12 is going to get 2 1s.
Well, it's funny. I saw UConn as a 1 over the weekend. Did the game against Seton Hall take them off of the 1 line? Because I saw Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn as 4 1s.
Interesting.
Which puts Houston, Iowa State, Illinois, and the Gators on the 2 line. Sparty with 2 wins last week. They're on the 3 line now.
The 2 teams that nobody wants to play in a tournament game are what? Florida and Houston? I mean, talk about tough outs, and they're the 2s. Oh, right. Man. Pick the one that turns and looks at their bracket and goes, think about it. That was the title game last year, correct? I mean, I know it seems like forever ago, but I'm pretty sure that was the title game. Okay, you turn, look around, and you go, holy blank, we got to go through them just to get to the Final Four? Golly.
Michigan lost a key part of their team over the weekend. So that's big for the Wolverines. They've got a guy out for the season. It already happened to Texas Tech. So, and Texas Tech's played really well since. I mean, they've been amazing since.
They just went to Iowa State and won.
And dominated.
Yes.
Never much of a doubt in that one. It is an overreaction Monday. We've got NFL free agency right around the corner. The madness is on the horizon. There was a choke job in golf, but the starting 5 is 25 minutes away. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, Cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
At the Diamond District, we believe your I do deserves more.
More selection, more sparkle, more diamonds. You'll find the ring for your forever.
During our Diamond event, March 6th through 8th.
Explore every cut, color, and carat weight imaginable, from timeless classics to striking modern designs.
Choose the ring that says it all. March 6th through 8th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
No, Sonny, he didn't. I'm sorry. I was quietly on the inside screaming at Dan Hicks and the NBC commentators. Okay. He didn't get bear trapped. He had 2 shanks.
He choked.
Yeah.
He
I
choked.
mean, there's no other way to say it. He had 2 shanks. And listen, nobody on the crew is going to say choked, but nobody said shank. That's a bad miss. Bad miss. He missed the center of the fairway by 40 yards to the right.
Well, he hit another drive earlier left that I don't know how it didn't go in the water. I mean, he made power on that hole. I mean, he hit one so badly off the tee.
Now, I will say, after he walked up to, 15, and striped that 6-iron, pin high on the green, and he did it quickly and confidently. Yeah, the shanks were shocking, but he shanked 2 irons. Not only that, he thinned an iron and he pull hooked an iron. I mean, he fell apart. Right. Yeah, no, none of them do any of that in a Ryder Cup. They feel more pressure playing for themselves. Well, Sonny, did you see his face? He did not mean to. He overcut that one. He thought that ball was going in the water. Oh, Javier, let's take it easy. It's it's a little early.
A little less than a minute.
I don't think so, Paula. You'll know by midweek because he'll let everybody know and they'll cancel their travel.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks for joining us on this first Monday of March. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for starting your week off with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. The starting five coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. All right, let me ask you. Is there a difference between choking and getting the Shanks?
I don't. It's a tough question, David, because the Shanks can just pop up.
Right. We've all had it if we've played, okay, and I'm certainly not comparing, but the very first time I got the Shanks, I was in the middle at the time in the biggest golf match of my high school career. And I literally hit a shot out of bounds and turned to my buddy, who had been a buddy of mine for half my life, and said, "What was that?" And he said, "Oh, you got the Shanks."
But see, I think the Shanks are in your head. So I can equate them with choking, David. I can. Because the Shanks, by most people's account, are in between your years. I mean, even look, I know it's a movie, but
Right,
when Roy McIlroy's going through the Shanks,
right,
and Cheech has him move the change from one pocket to the other, put a T behind his head, put his hat on backwards, and do all this stuff.
Yeah,
and he stripes it. He goes, because you weren't thinking about anything. When you get them and you start overthinking, and I've never really I've shanked a shot. But I've never had, quote unquote, the Shanks where I get up and think where everything's going 90 degrees to the right. I've done it. I've certainly hit the shot,
right.
But I've not done it over and over. Like I remember watching my dad when he was chipping, he got it. And from 40 yards in, they were hosel rockets. So I've seen it happen where someone can't control it. But I will say in the case of Shane Lowry, he was hitting bad tee shots. He was hitting bad iron shots. He was all over the place. That to me was between the man's ears.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that up until the 16th tee, he hadn't made a bogey yet on Sunday. You're right. He had sprayed some stuff around. There's no question about it. But he had yet to make a bogey, and he had a 3-shot lead with 3 to play, and he's a top 30 golfer in the world who's won on tour and has won major championships and has been a Ryder Cup hero. And then he hits an iron off a tee. He's playing it safe. And he missed his target by over 40 yards to the right. And I'm sorry, and nobody from NBC could say the word, say the word choke. Nobody could say the word shank. I mean, come on, he's a top 30 golfer in the world. What did you think that was? A push? I mean, come on, he shanked it. He shanked it. There was the fairway, there was the rough, there was a body of water. He hit the ball almost on the other side of the body of water one time. I mean, what do you think that is?
That's a cold shank.
Yes. Say it.
And I don't know why they can't say that. What is the reason that they have to protect every single golfer? Now give it up for the guy that won. He shot like 5 under on Sunday. That's a tremendous round to win that tournament. He was great.
Yeah, no
But
question.
Lowry had a 2-shot lead with like 3 to play, and all of a sudden he's down 2.
He had a 3-shot lead with 3 to play. Went double-double for the first time in his career on the PGA Tour. He made back-to-back doubles. And it just so happens when he's got a 3-shot lead with 3 to play in his American home in front of his family. And oh, by the way, he had never won a tour event in front of his 4-year-old. And he said, I was so looking forward to my kid running out onto the 18th green. Well, not yet.
Next time, Shane. Next time.
You mentioned the winner, Nico. How about his week? So apparently he shoots a terrible round on Friday. Okay, like 74, so 72, 74 over par. And they go and close on a house right after the round. So they close on the house Friday, dinner. And then he plays a bogey-free weekend and wins.
Well, he's got to pay for the house.
Talk about responding to the pressure in Palm Beach, mind you. Finished the round, walked off. They drove nearby and closed on a house. Then he goes and wins the tournament.
Life-changing for those guys, too. We've said it before. The tour's changing immensely next year. I mean, it's not going to look like this. This tournament may not even exist next year.
I know.
Certainly one of them, whether it's the Palm Beach tournament or the Valspar in Tampa, one of them's going away. I'm sorry. It is. It sucks. Because they're getting fired up. I'm in Tampa. I mean, I'm seeing the ads. They're getting fired up about the tournament here. I mean, they just had the St. Pete Grand Prix over the weekend. They got the Valspar coming. These are big deals locally. And they generate a lot of money for the area. They generate a lot of money for charities. And in one of those tournaments, you can bet's going away, David.
Well, if you read the tea leaves, it'll be the tournament that just wrapped up because this commissioner is apparently big into market size. He wants to play in the biggest markets in America. Tampa St. Pete's the top 15 market in the country. West Palm Beach is not Miami, Fort Lauderdale. West Palm Beach is a top 40 market in the country. So if you go by market size, they would choose the Valspar. We'll see what happens. It's supposedly going to be announced in the next 10 days what the tour is going to look like in the future beginning next year.
The only thing I would say caution to the Valspar making it is that how much do the players have a say on what tournaments stay? Because this is a home game for 40, 45 guys on tour. They all live in Jupiter and in West Palm and surrounding areas. I mean, they're driving home. There's 40, 45 guys that are sleeping in their own beds at this tournament.
Well, there's also a lot of the tour that lives in Orlando. And the Valspar ain't that far away either. So, but you're right.
Driving home after and sleeping in their own bed.
True. That's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Good
I mean,
point
it's a
there.
home game for 30, 40 guys. Easy on that tour.
Yep.
And I think there are far more of them that are in the Palm Beach area than in the Orlando area.
Well, and you also have the Jack factor.
Right.
Jack, that's Jack's home. Jack's tied to that tournament. The final stretch is called the Bear Trap. Nicholas was the bear. So we'll see.
But Shane Lowry had it, and he choked it away.
He did.
Or he shanked it away, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Maybe both.
Right. See, I think the first shank is not necessarily a choke because we've all hit a shank and went, whoa, what was that? And then, most of us then don't hit another one. Okay. But when you do it on the very next tee, no.
And you're hitting iron to be safe.
Right.
So it was a interesting Sunday at the tournament in the Palm Beaches as Shane Lowry looked like he had it, and then he let it slip away.
Whew. Did he ever? Did he ever?
Now we get another back to back. We have the Valspar this week and then back to back.
No, it's Bay Hill and Players.
Oh, okay. So back to back elevated events again.
Yeah, I think it goes Bay Hill Players Valspar.
That's okay. That's right. Yeah. So Bay Hill elevated event. And then obviously the players, one of the big events.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Valspar where it'll be another.
Oh, Mark, ads running nonstop here in Jacksonville. March, it's going to be major. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's another thing.
And it's going to be with this guy. The tour commissioner wants to make this a major. So, and I'm sure, I wonder if Tiger will put the kibosh to that, because he's the only one that can tell this guy, I'm sorry, this isn't a major.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hey, you guys got me?
Yep.
We do now.
Okay, did you get my text? The production elements didn't transfer for whatever reason, so they're going to try to find them.
Okay.
How's the studio? Hmm.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. On this Overreaction Monday, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us. Mark and what's it, Hope House in Tampa?
Hope Lodge. You were in the ballpark.
Ooh, Lodge. That implies, by the way, like wood somewhere, doesn't it? I mean, don't you
There's
think?
a lot of wood here, wood floors, wood floors throughout. It's a very nice facility. It truly is. It's sponsored by the American Cancer Society. They have done a wonderful job with this place. Actually, just went down and got a coffee from the kitchen, and I'll be damned, there was a guy from Cape Coral there with an FGCU shirt on.
Huh.
I saw the shirt. I said, "You must be a Southwest Floridian." He's like, "Yeah, I am." I said, "As am I." I said, "I saw the shirt." He said, "Yeah, my son goes there." I'm like, "That's great." He lives in the Cape.
I mean, Hope Lodge implies that when you walk in from the outside that there's a fireplace nearby.
There is not a fireplace.
Roa, you would think not in Tampa, but I have
Right,
to
it's
admit
Tampa.
that Hope Lodge, that's what I think of. I go, "Oh, we're going to the lodge. Huh. Chance to roast some marshmallows later." So,
All right, David, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, so you're going to have to tell me, but I'm going to give this a shot. Huh.
no. Is this the intro to the starting five?
Yeah. No dice?
No.
All right.
But I know the gist of it. I've been doing this a while.
No, I know, but I had the intro. I was pretty fired up, but I tried to pull it off here because they don't have it in the new studio yet.
Right. That's okay. We
So
can cover.
I gave it a shot.
We can cover. We can give them a few days to, make sure all the wires are crossed and buttons work and that sort of deal. I mean, my understanding, it's the starting five. 5 big stories you need to know. Brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through BST. Business, sports, and tourism. And believe it or not, we'll start with the NFL. The combine may have come and gone, but folks, we're merely a week away from teams being able to talk to other free agents without it being tampering. Because it's not like any of that's gone on before a week from today.
Hey, David, wait a minute.
The starting five. 5 big stories you need
There
to know.
it is.
Here is the starting five.
All right. That I hear. Thanks. Mark, if it's okay with you, we'll start with the NFL. Free agency, by the way, officially is a week from Wednesday. The new NFL year begins, I think, 3 p.m, a week from Wednesday, the 11th. So everybody's got to get cap compliant by then. The Dolphins, the word yesterday from like 7 different NFL sources is that they're cutting Tua loose. And they're probably going to designate him a June 1st cut. And they're going to split this $99.2 million cap hit over 2 seasons. It could be 55 and change this year, nearly 44 next year. It could be as high as 67 this year and 32 next year. But that's the word. The Dolphins are cutting ties with Tua unless a trade emerges in the next 9 days, and they're going to split that cap hit up over 2 years. The Vikings, one of those teams that, well, they got to get to work in the next 9 days because they're $43 million over the cap. Reportedly, they're unloading running back Aaron Jones and defensive tackle Javon Hargrave and saving nearly $19 million under the cap. In doing so, the cap, by the way, officially came in at $301.2 million. The cap was $272 this past year. So the cap went up $29 million. We've been telling you for a few years now, conservatively count on 10%. This year, nearly 11%. And we're not even talking when they tear this sucker up and negotiate the new deal by the end of the decade. Very sad news coming out of the University of Colorado over the weekend. Backup quarterback Dominique Ponder died in a car crash. The young quarterback was just 23 years of age. College basketball, it is March, therefore we have madness. It's my favorite week before the tournament all year. This is my favorite week. It's small conference tournament week. It is one bid league week where you can be 11th place in the regular season and you put 4 wins together, you going. You can be the 8th seed in an 18th conference. You win 3 games, you going.
You dancing.
That's right. And by the way, it begins tonight with a play-in game in the Horizon League. And
because nothing says March Madness like Horizon League play-in games.
That's between the 10-11 matchup in the Horizon. Hello.
You know what, though? I'll take the play-in game in the Horizon League over the triple bye in the Big Ten.
Did you see what league was it that had a 6-way tie for second? And they had this unbelievably convoluted.
So Duke plays for the conference title?
No, not the ACC. But apparently also the way they have it, one of the teams now only has to win 3 games to go to the tournament, but one of the teams has to win 5. I mean, is it the Sun Belt, I think? It's just an absolute mess of a conference tournament, and they haven't even started it yet. There were 2 ranked Big Ten games yesterday. 8th-ranked Purdue had a tough week. Went to Columbus and lost. Ohio State is on the bubble. By the way, the bubble is so weak. You know who's having a rough couple months? Greg Sankey. Greg Sankey. The Big Ten's won 3 football titles in a row. His basketball league isn't as good. His football league may not even be the best league in the country anymore. Okay. And his idea to expand the college basketball tournament is looking about as bad as the new Coke idea was 40 years ago. Seriously. The bubble is staggeringly weak this year. How weak is it? Bruce Pearl on Saturday said Miami of Ohio needs to be undefeated. They need to win their conference to make the tournament. 24 hours later, he said, upon further review, they can definitely lose 1. They might be able to lose 2. Ohio State beat Purdue 82-74. Sparty had a good week, and they went to Bloomington and throttled the Hoosiers 77-64. Give it up to the Bulls of South Florida. 7 in a row. They haven't lost since January. They're 21-8. I think they wrapped up the American, or they clinched a tie for the 1 seed. Second time in 3 years, by the way. Bulls 90-62. Over Tulane. Michigan had a good week on the court. Off it, lost guard L.J. Kaysen to a torn right ACL in the win over Illinois Friday night. One of the best guards off the bench in the country. 40% three-point shooter. That's a tough loss for the Wolverines. 11 games in the NBA. Mark, your Pistons. I still think they're vulnerable in the playoffs because they're not a good outside shooting team, but there's no doubt they're the best team in the East, and they may finish with the best record in the NBA this regular season. They have it right now. They went into Orlando and beat the Magic by 14, 106-92. This Cade Cunningham guy, 29 points, 11 assists. Hey, I'm going to ask you a serious question. Buddy of mine said yesterday, straight up, Luka or Cade Cunningham?
I'd probably lean. Boy, that's tough because,
think about it.
Cade Cunningham's an assist machine, too. He's averaging, 9 assists a game? I mean.
And he doesn't even have anybody who can hit an outside shot on the team.
And I think he's a better defender than Luka.
Well, Mark,
I'm a better defender than Luka. I know your point.
Right, yeah. So I just throwing that. I thought that was an interesting, hey, who'd you take? Anyway, Pistons 106-92 over the Magic. Magic remain a game behind Philly to avoid the play-in in the East. And I'll tell you which Knicks team's going to show up, because the one that played at the Garden last night's going to the finals. Okay,
but they might have to play the Pistons, which means they can't. But you saw Wemby's comments after the game. He's like, they were too physical for us. We were not ready for their physicality. And they basically beat us up, was what Wemby said after the game.
Which is very interesting, because what have the Spurs done to the Thunder this year? They've beaten them up 3 out of 4 times.
And they came and played the Knicks and got physically abused.
Knicks snapped the Spurs' 11-game winning streak, 114-89. Cleveland got by Brooklyn. Boston's still the 2 seed in the East, and by 2 games, they beat Philly 114-98. Remember when the Celtics and the Sixers used to be a thing? Anyway, OKC, they're 3 ahead of the Spurs for the 1 seed out west. They beat Dallas 187. T-Wolves have now flipped spots with the Nuggets. Did you see very quickly the look in Jokic's eyes when he got tripped in the OKC game Friday night? Did you see the look in his eyes? Oh my goodness. He looked like a madman.
It'd be nice if he looked like that on the defensive side of the court.
Yeah, well,
he's a great player, but he's defensively challenged.
Yeah. T-Wolves beat the Nuggets 117-108. Dallas over the Lakers over Sacramento 128-104. Check out some video. Luka admits his life right now is not in a good place, and he's personally struggling. Check out the language between Luka and JJ Redick on the sideline last night in a 24-point Lakers win. And star players and head coaches don't normally look like that. Just saying. Steph Curry out at least 5 more games because of his knee injury for the Warriors. Hockey, was last night the dagger for the Panthers. They score with 2 minutes to go to tie it up on Long Island, and then Anders Lee with the game-winning goal with 32 seconds left. Third time this year, Florida gave up the winning goal with under a minute to play in regulation. Islanders beat the Panthers 5-4. Florida
Forsland made a bad play on that goal, took the wrong guy. I was actually watching that game, and that was a devastating loss for the Panthers. And someone who roots for the Wings, I'm just praying no shootout. Florida scored, and I went, 3 points, not good for the team I root for. And they blow it with 30 seconds.
Panthers 8 points out of a playoff spot with 22 to play. Penguins 5-0 over Vegas. Chicago 4-0 over Utah in Utah. Horrible loss for the Mammoth. Terrible loss for Minnesota at home to St. Louis 3-1. San Jose 2-1 over Winnipeg in overtime. And Anaheim 3-2 over Calgary in a shootout. LA Kings fired their head coach Jim Hiller. Golf, we talked about it. Shane Lowry, 3-shot lead, 3 to play. Shanks 2 into the water on 16 and 17, allowing Nico Echevarria to win for the third time on tour. There was a 3-way tie for second. Koepka, by the way, good tournament, finished T9. History at the road course in Austin and NASCAR, Tyler Reddick won. That's 3 races to start the year. He's won them all. Daytona, Atlanta, and Austin. In the 76-year history of NASCAR, no one had won the first 3 races of the year. In year 77, it gets done. Michael Jordan being interviewed, walking to victory lane, being congratulated for his contributions. He looked right at Fox and said, "Yeah, I'm just a fan with money." And credited Denny Hamlin with putting most of the team together. Good for MJ. Finally, St. Pete Grand Prix, Alex Palou. He won 3 titles in a row coming in. He won by 13 seconds. That's all. Big margin of victory in racing. He led 59 of the 100 laps. All right, he's the dominant driver on the circuit. And he's looking for 4 IndyCar titles in a row. It was a beautiful day in St. Pete.
Really
for
was.
The race, which looked fantastic on Fox. It really did. Big crowds. So,
I got up in the morning, I'm down having breakfast, and they had the local news on, and they were all over it. There was a local guy in the Mazda race, which was like one of the first ones, but he lost his father a few years ago to cancer, got back in the racing game, and was able to race in one of the earlier races. So they were all over it, and it's a big day in St. Pete. It truly is.
And it was a great day of racing on Fox. It went IndyCar right into NASCAR. The starting 5 brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Building a better community through BST. Business, sports, and tourism.
Miller and Moulton. Some new frequencies. We'll let you know where, as we are on some new stations in the Fort Myers, Naples market. And I have a big question coming up for David.
Do you have a sleep problem but don't want to wear a CPAP mask? This is Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. The mask wasn't working for me, and I didn't think I had an alternative. I do. We all do. They have such simple alternatives with greater success than the mask. Visit sleeptreatmentdirect.com. That's sleeptreatmentdirect.com. And if you are like me and your CPAP machine isn't working for you, it's time for a change. Call 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and
Rick, we all good over there, bud? So Lenardi's from his last bracketology is old, and you didn't put it in there. I think if you want to talk about it for a short segment, I do find that USC kid story fascinating. I mean, he basically, what did he quit? Did he get kicked off the team? What happens to his NIL? I mean, I have there's no answers right now, but he's played for 4 schools in 4 years.
Well, right, and that's it. He has no eligibility left, unless he finds a judge. But no, I mean, that's it. He had.
But they were a tournament team, or they're at least a bubble team.
Yeah, they're now on the bubble because they've lost 5 in a row. But yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they should be out because I don't. This is where the Big Ten tournament shouldn't matter. But to me, it's just this is everybody that hates the transfer portal giving more reasons to hate it. But now, Indiana lost to Sparty, so he had them as one of the last teams in. That's not a tournament team. Although I will say that Wilkerson or whatever his name is for them, man, did he shoot lights out in the second. He kept him in the game by himself. It's as good as I've seen Sparty shoot the ball all year. And that kid had 19 in the second. He had, at one point, David, they had 25 points in the second half. He had 19 of them. and Stove Up, I'll argue with you all day. Jokic is a great player. No, he's not good defensively, but
You're listening to Miller
a
and
minute
Moulton,
early, Rick.
Coming
This
at
is
you
a minute
from
early.
the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this first Monday of March. If it is March, therefore, there will be madness. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We'll come up with a poll question. I promise we will. All right.
Well, I have an idea for one. It's in your wheelhouse, David.
Okay. All right.
It's in your wheelhouse.
Sounds good. It's an overreaction Monday. No guest. Just us getting the week started, kicking it around. Pat Kerwin scheduled on the show tomorrow.
So I don't know. I'm guessing you're aware of this. But there have been major changes in your world in the last couple of days.
Excuse me?
Major changes.
What world?
Fast food, David. Fast food.
No, I think I've missed it.
I don't know how, but there have been big, I mean, big, and I'm not messing around. First
Really?
off,
Really? Really?
no, I'm not.
David,
I look at this is something here that's important to you, and I don't mess around with things that are important to you. David, the Whopper changed the burger for the first time in over 10 years. The original Whopper has been changed. It is an updated Whopper. New packaging, new bun, new mayonnaise. Now, I am not a Burger King guy and I'm not a fast food guy. But when a burger chain decides to make a change of its signature item, I mean, come on. I can't tell you, if I've had Burger King once in the last 30 years, that would be a lot. It's my least favorite fast food place. Even when I was eating fast food, I didn't go to Burger King. The only thing I could even tolerate there was a double cheeseburger. And that's if it was the only thing at the exit when I worked in pro hockey. But when Burger King has an elevated Whopper and people say it's better than the original, I go to my go-to person on the Whopper. That's one David Moulton.
can I ask a question, Your Honor? Is an elevated Whopper like an elevated PGA Tour event? Okay, is it different from a regular tour event? Or is this like, is there the Whopper and then an elevated Whopper, or no?
Well,
hang up and
apparently the
listen.
new presentation is the biggest thing.
Okay.
But it's a Whopper packaging thing. It's a new bun. And I mean, come on, David. What's the signature thing about the Whopper? It's flame grilled, as all Burger King items are.
Right.
I mean, unless it's stuck in the fryer. So, by the way, the Whopper was released in 1957, 4 years after the chain opened. The original, do you want to take a guess at what the original price of the Whopper was?
A quarter?
A little higher, 37 cents. The original burger at that time at the Burger King, just original burger, cost 18 cents. By the way, Burger King founded in Miami, for those that didn't know.
Huh. Okay.
So that's our Florida chain. But the other one, and you probably eat here, in fact, I know you eat here a little more, is McDonald's beginning tomorrow is adding a new product, the Big Arch. It's a new burger. It's quite large. And if you want some fun, go look up the CEO of McDonald's tasting the new burger. There has never been anything that looked quite as awkward as Chris Kaminsky trying to eat the burger. It was, I guess the new burger was released last week on Tuesday, and he didn't know how to eat it. He literally said, I don't even know how to attack this. But he also said, I love this product. It's so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. Holy cow. God, that is a big burger. It goes on to say, I don't even quite know how to attack it. Got so much of it. And then he bit the burger and showed his big bite to the camera, of which, David, you would be embarrassed by what he thinks is a big bite.
No doubt. No doubt.
And they did a good job because it's a video, and they locked in on a picture where his eyes look like they're watering. He has a horrible look on his face as he's the CEO of the company, and he looks as if he's going to vomit eating his own product.
Okay.
It looks like it would be me eating the McDonald's burger.
Okay. I have a few questions here. Is Chris Kaminsky skinny?
Yes,
or hefty?
very.
Okay.
Very.
How
No.
can
I mean, he looks like, I don't know how tall he is, but I'm guessing he looks like he's 5'8", 130 pounds, David.
Okay. How can you trust the CEO of a fast food place if he's skinny? I'll just say that right now. Okay. I think part of why Wendy's became so popular, besides the fact that I'd argue food's pretty good for fast food, okay, is Dave Thomas looked like a guy who would own a fast food company.
No doubt.
That's what I want my CEO of a fast food place looking like. Okay. I want him looking like he's the guy who eats the food that he's selling.
Now, I will say the big arch, I don't know if it's in your wheelhouse, David. There's a lot that is. There's some that clearly, to me, and I could be wrong, isn't. So it's 2 quarter-pound patties. So right there, Moulton's in.
They already do that. It's called the double quarter pounder. I mean, so
again,
what's
David,
different?
Very different from this point forward.
Please, with all due respect, I don't trust McDonald's when it comes to saying, oh, something is new, because remember, and this goes back 2 generations probably, but remember that this big revamp and this, that, and the other thing, and all they did was put a slice of lettuce and a slice of tomato on their burger.
You're talking about the McBLT.
Right, the McDLT, right. Okay.
It was horrible.
Exactly. And then new packaging, and they upcharged you $1. And it was like, it's a slice of lettuce and a slice of tomato. What the heck?
So you get the 2 quarter-pound patties, 3 slices of white cheddar, and that could already throw Moulton off, crispy and slivered onions, pickles and lettuce, tangy big art sauce, and a toasted sesame and poppy seed bun. Yeah, so there's a lot different about it with the cheddar, with the crispy slivered onions. And I don't trust any tangy big art sauce personally.
Well, I'm going to Burger King today then. Okay. I'm sampling the new Whopper, although I prefer it with cheese. Okay. So I'll sample it. All right.
But
You're right.
New burgers. I mean, and these are 2 of the big 3 chains. We're talking about Burger King and McDonald's. These are staples in the fast food world.
Yeah. Burger King slipped a little bit. They may be 4 now. Okay. But yeah, there's no doubt. All right. It's a biggie. Mm-hmm.
And I don't do fast food, but the daughter had a gymnastics meet last night. I talked to her after, and she had just left the drive-thru at Taco Bell and had her first ever Taco Bell.
Oh,
she's
my
11.
goodness.
She's never had Taco Bell. My wife and I don't eat fast food. Therefore, my daughter doesn't eat fast food. If we eat tacos, I live in Estero, Florida. There are 64 places that serve up amazing tacos. I don't need to go to Taco Bell for a taco, but drive through, out of town.
Right.
And it was funny. We're literally FaceTiming in the car last night, and she is eating a soft taco supreme for the very first time. And she went, this isn't that bad.
Uh-huh. That's how they get you.
And I told her, I said, hey, if I were to do fast food, Taco Bell was my go-to for many years.
That's how they get you. Yep.
But she had her first ever Taco Bell, maybe her last, because I'll never take her. But on the road with mom, you never know what can happen.
The only thing that you have said during this segment that has surprised me, I get it. You know, some people just don't like the taste of a certain fast food place. I totally get that. All right. The reason why I thought you would have been a little more of a BK customer, they're the only ones that did onion rings in the fast food world, especially when we grew up. You know, you and I are within 4 years of one another. Everybody did fries. They did onion rings. I thought that might have, you know, you would have found one thing, like you said, if I had to go there, I'd do the double cheeseburger. So I thought the reason you might have just gone 4 or 5 times a year was, you know what? I'm jonesing for some onion rings.
I will say I had the onion rings there. My go-to back in the day, in like the high school days, because I had a couple of buddies that worked at BK. I didn't, back in the day, I didn't mind their chicken sandwich. They ended up changing the chicken sandwich. It wasn't nearly as good later. The chicken sandwich of the late 80s was not the chicken sandwich of the late 90s and early 2000s. And again, I literally, you know, I'm 56 years old. I probably haven't had much fast food since my late 20s. But that's when I was traveling in hockey and you were forced to eat it. So I would go Taco Bell more times than not. That I could do. Right. But yeah, I you know, a couple new burgers out there. Had to see if you were aware or if you had eaten them.
No, that's good. That gives me something to do this week. I mean, I don't have a life. I don't have any friends. So yeah, sure. That'll be good. I'll put it on my calendar. I mean, literally, it'll be like, ooh, Monday Whopper. What's that? The new one at McDonald's called the Big Arch.
Big Arch.
The big man. That's a lot of boasting. I mean, no offense. You got to deliver if you're going to boast that. I don't know. Here's the other thing, with all due respect, with the way they've raised their prices, and now they're going to come out with this big super burger. What am I going to have to do? Just hand you 20? My goodness. All right. Got that off my chest. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X.
All right,
thank you for that. No,
not a problem.
Very appreciative.
Not a problem. Trying to help. You know, I mean, David, fast food so long ago for me. I still think the quarter pounder with cheese comes in a styrofoam container.
Well played. Well played. So you say you have a poll question. I can't wait to hear the possibilities on the other side. Got to be honest with you. Miller and Moulton. It is March. You know what that means, right? Madness!
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
At the Diamond District, we believe more is more.
More diamonds, more selection, more fire. You truly can have it all.
During our Diamond event, March 6th through 8th.
Layered bracelets, dazzling earrings, statement rings. Because when it comes to diamonds, more is more.
Then leave drenched in diamonds, March 6th through 8th. Only at the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Well, the only thing I had for a poll question is, will you try the new Whopper or the Big Arch this week? One, both, neither. I've got nothing sports-wise. Unless we want to say college basketball tournaments, which do you prefer? Small tournament, one bid leagues, still watching the big conferences.
Yeah, I like them both.
No, Left Twix. They have no shot. The tournaments don't do anything really to help seeding anymore. They've kind of determined that the big conference tournaments don't mean squadoosh. I can't believe they haven't had an update from Lenardi since last week. It's March. He should be doing it every day.
Yeah, I wonder if he's off.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. So, not to belabor the point, for as top heavy and as awesome as you and I think, all right, this NCAA tournament is going to be. I mean, we think week 2 and the Final Four are going to be tremendous. Tremendous. But man, this field is weak. I mean weak. Auburn is considered a bubble team. Auburn has lost 7 of 8. Auburn is 15-14 on the season. 6-10 in conference play. They've won 2 road games all year. And they're a bubble team? Listen, of all the things they're talking about, and I get it, unbalanced scheduling, particularly in conference play, a team could really get the shaft. I get it. There could be a good team. I don't know about a really good team. There could be a good basketball team in a major conference that can finish, I believe, Mark, below 500. I think you could, if you play 16 or 18 conference games, if you get the right schedule, you could go 7-9, 8-10, and still be a team that I think is NCAA tournament worthy. But I got to admit, I'd have no problem with all the advantages that the major conference schools have. I'd have no problem if you inserted a rule that said you got to be 500 in conference play or you're ineligible for an at-large berth in the tournament. Now, they're never going to do it for obvious reasons, but I'd have no problem, Mark, if you did it. I'm just saying.
Now, I don't know what's going on with Lenardi's bracketology because he hasn't done one since the 27th. How this time of year it's not being done on a damn near daily basis is beyond me.
Right.
It's the only time that this stuff matters. But this was as of the 27th. The last 4 in were Auburn, TCU, Santa Clara, and Indiana. I believe both Auburn and Indiana have lost since then. Now, Santa Clara had I think they had a win.
Yeah, they had a big win. They
beat Gonzaga, right?
Yeah, and beat them and won the regular season league title. Yeah,
they're with that win, they should be in, flat out.
Hell, they should be comfortably in compared to how weak the 10 and 11 lines are in this field.
The last 4 byes: Georgia, Missouri, A&M, and Texas, all SEC teams.
Yeah, imagine that.
Now, these are the first 4 out teams: Cal, New Mexico, and I don't know much about the Lobos this year. My apologies. Ohio State and USC. I would imagine with the Buckeyes winning against Purdue and Indiana losing to Michigan State, you could just flip-flop those 2 teams. Just keep it in conference. And USC. And USC, with the player that either got kicked off the team or quit after he got kicked off the team, I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Well,
but he's
can we-
played for 4 schools in 4 years.
We got
How
to
old
get
is he,
back to
David?
that.
Like 26?
I think he's 26 years old. This is his last. He just played his last college game because he has no more eligibility left, and I don't even think he can get a judge to extend it.
So USC's probably out. The next 4 out were VCU, Vatech, Seton Hall, and Cincinnati. And while Cincinnati was making a nice run, they lost their last game. Seton Hall had a great opportunity against UConn, couldn't get it done.
Got zebra.
But I mean, these are mediocre at best teams. But by the way, of the final 12 teams that are listed here, Santa Clara and New Mexico are the only ones not from power conferences.
Right.
So if we're going to go to 76, we're benefiting one mid-major. One. What the hell do I need to see, some form of USC, Ohio State, Indiana, only, now 3 of them getting in instead of 1. Virginia Tech, Cal, Cincinnati, VCU. I guess VCU would be 3 or 2 mid-majors. So I'm sorry, 2 mid-majors out of 8 more teams.
This is where I wish CBS and Turner would just look at Sankey and everyone else and go, we're not paying for these extra games before the 64-team field. Just so you know, we gave you Dayton. We gave you the first 4. Okay. We've pumped it up as much as we can. That's it. That's all we're going. We're not going to 72. We're not going to 76. All right. I'm sorry. It's crap. It's crap. I tell you, it's crap. I mean, because here's the thing. If you're going to open it up to 76, then to me, if South Florida loses in the American final, they get in. I mean, that's what I want. If we're going to open it up to 76, that's what I want to happen.
Right, because South Florida is not in any other way. They're considered a 12 seed right now. So if they don't win their conference tournament, they're not getting a bid. And that's a joke.
Right. And when you say, well, they haven't beaten anybody. Well, here's my favorite. First off, who's going to schedule them? Once again, we go to the whole thing. If you're not a power conference school and you've got a pulse, you can't get games. Doesn't matter the sport, by the way. I mean, you might be able to get them in baseball and softball. Okay. Soccer, you can get a couple. You can't get them in football and basketball. I'm telling you, you just can't unless your coach has a connection with somebody else and he owes them. Okay. But here, quad 1s. Remember the whole quad 1 wins, quad 1s, quad 2s. Technically, they're called now quad 1A, whatever. There's criteria behind what's a quad 1 win. All right. That's a win at home against a top 15 team. That's a win on the road against a top 40 team. That's a win on a neutral court against a top 25 team. By the way, they use the net, not rankings. They use the net to determine who's a 15, 25, or a 40. Okay. Louisville. By the way, Louisville right now is a 6 or a 7 seed in everybody's bracket. Louisville's 0-8 in quad 1 games. Villanova. Villanova's a 6 or a 7 in everybody's bracket. They're 0-5 in quad 1 games. I love Andy Enfield. Love them. SMU's in everybody's field. They're a 10. They're 0-5 in quad 1 games. Clemson's, they're a 9-10 in everybody's bracket. Haven't won a quad 1 game. Texas, Mark, they're in everybody's field. 1-8. I love John Cal. Okay. And I think Arkansas is dangerous. Yeah. They're 1-7 in quad 1 games. BYU, they may have the number 1 pick of the draft. Okay. We've seen them on their best. They look good, right? 1-6 in quad 1 games. And Iowa's in everybody's bracket. They're in an 8-9 game everywhere. Yeah. 1-6 in quad 1 games. We're going to open this field up. I mean,
and don't give me this, we're rewarding them for playing good teams. All they're doing is playing games in their damn conference, and they don't win any of them.
And they're losing them. Put South Florida in. So I'm serious. And like I said, I love Andy Enfield. Okay. And SMU has had some nice moments. Throw South Florida in the ACC and see what their quad 1 record would be. Can't be worse than 0-5. I mean, come on.
But the top end again is really good. When you're talking about threes like Kansas, Nebraska, Michigan State, and who's the other one? Michigan State's a 4. Houston and Gonzaga are your threes. I mean, the top end of this tournament's going to be really good. It is. The problem is from 6 seeds on down, there's not much strength there. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
The fun is happening now at the Southwest Florida Ag Expo. Bring the whole family. Thrilling midway rides, delicious fair food, good old-fashioned Florida fun. Experience agriculture up close. Meet the farm animals. Celebrate a community's roots. Live entertainment, family activities all day long. All under one roof at the Mike Greenwell Regional Park, formerly the Lee County Civic Center. Get details and daily schedules at swflagexpo.com. That's swflagexpo.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Faro and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Faro and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Faro and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Has it created imbalance? Who spends the most money on NIL in college basketball? Kentucky. And it's not close. And they're not any good. I don't think Iowa State's spending a ton of money. You know, I mean, I think Sparty spends a lot, but they're not a top spend team. Now, Michigan went out and bought a team. They're really good.
Yeah, but Memphis spends far and away the most money in the American, and Penny's probably getting fired.
Either that or we could do this for a poll question. What did you watch the most of over the weekend? Basketball, golf, hockey, the combine.
Oh, my God. I like it.
You just don't like what's going to win.
Well, there's no – you think the combine's going to win, you're crazy. It's horrendous television.
Okay. I bet you, put it this way, I bet you it doesn't come in last.
Well, what's the other choices again?
Golf, hockey, basketball.
Could beat hockey. Want to put racing on there instead of hockey?
Sure.
I
mean, there was a lot of hockey on.
Okay.
I mean, there was, they had games on TNT and ESPN yesterday.
I got a football question for you and everybody else if you want to do a segment on it.
Yes. I put hockey, not racing, and it's up for what it's worth.
Okay. Fly Panda 1033 in Lee County, 1059 in Collier, 94.1 I think is along the water in North Lee. If you have HD2, you have two options: 92.5 HD2, 93.7 HD2. But guys, you know, youtube.com/Miller and Moulton, YouTube app. We're on twitch.tv. We're on what? The iHeart app?
We're on the iHeart app, but the YouTube app and the Twitch app are really the best two ways to get us. All 4 hours, always.
Yeah. You know, and that's the other thing in Southwest Florida. They're not going to carry our 4th hour anymore, at least not from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. They may carry it later on. So, yeah, Matthew, I've seen a couple of Summerall's interviews. He's going to toughen them up, and that's good because they haven't been tough.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us. It's an Overreaction Monday. It's March. And the Horizon League tournament gets underway tonight. Officially, the madness is underway. You can play your way into the tournament beginning tonight. I love this week. I love One Bid League week. I absolutely love it.
It's everything for these schools. It's absolutely everything.
And it's the final game that a lot of these guys are ever going to play. They've been playing ball since, you know, maybe they were single digits, certainly preteen. And for many of them, it ends. And does it end in an 11-point loss in the quarterfinals of your conference tournament? Or does it end with you going to the dance because you pulled it off as a 6 seed in a one bid league?
And I will say, as much as we may hate it, it is the opportunity for the non-seniors to have big tournaments and get noticed by the Power Four conferences. A big week for a kid in the A-Sun, a 16 seed bid league. I mean, they're a play-in team. Whoever wins the A-Sun, whether, we've got FGCU in one of our markets, we've got JU in North Florida in another market, so those kids could play their way into a Power Four team. The kid from North Florida did it a couple years ago, ended up at Tennessee, and he was a stud.
Robert McRae, 2 A-Sun tournaments ago, was a guy who was going to get drafted. He was so impressive. And Florida State paying him six figures with the first digit crooked this year to finish his career in the ACC.
We've got a poll question up. It's simply, what sport did you watch the most of this weekend? David and I argued, but since I do the poll question, I get the last laugh. Golf, hockey, basketball, and the combine. We went back and forth between racing and hockey, and, well, I won. Because I didn't watch any racing. I watched a lot of hockey. Watched my Wings take it on the chin on Saturday. I watched a tiny bit of the Pens Vegas, and I watched a decent amount of Panthers and Islanders last night. But I voted basketball because I watched some of Michigan, Illinois on Saturday, or Friday rather. I watched a couple of games, UConn and Seton Hall on Saturday, and then I watched both Purdue and Ohio State, and then Sparty and Indiana yesterday. So basketball, in order for me, it was basketball, hockey, golf. I did not watch 1 second of the NFL Combine.
It's horrendous television. I honestly, I usually don't cast aspersions onto others. You know, listen, do what you want, whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not breaking the law or harming somebody else. But wow, if you're sitting watching the Combine, I think you need to have a talk with yourself. You may need to have a talk with someone else also. It's, wow, really? There's not a book? There's no one in your life you haven't talked to in a while you don't want to have a conversation with? All right? You don't want to go out and try the new fast food burgers. I mean, the Combine. Wow, he's fast. Oh, wow, look at him. He's fast. Oh, the shuttle. That's just what I want to see. I mean, seriously, if you're walking to your car and someone's doing the shuttle, you going to stop and watch them? It's wow. Now, the news that comes out of the Combine about what teams are going to do, the fact that most every GM talks and actually has to answer legitimate questions, okay, that to me is the best part of the news that comes out of the Combine. But hey, guess what? Today's athletes are bigger, stronger, and faster than before. Can you believe that? Huh? Can you believe that? Wow. Okay.
Now, I will say the highlights of the linemen from Iowa doing the shuttle or whatever, the 40 and the, I don't know, cone drill, something side to side. The kid with the mullet is outstanding, at least from a standpoint of seeing the highlights on X, David. I didn't watch it live. I will not watch it live. Not in a boat, not with the goat. However, seeing the highlights of the young man doing the drills with that mullet, that was fantastic.
Can I ask a serious football question? And I'm asking it not just of you, Mark. I'm asking of everybody. Okay. It's a topic that's been out there. Hell, it's been out there since October, November, when you realize that, wow, I don't think my team is a quarterback. I think we're going to have to go get one. But it's a very simple but serious question. You're a team that needs a quarterback, and you're not going to be able to draft one, especially this year. So you're going to have to go and sign a veteran. Tell me of this group. We just asked you, what do you watch this past weekend? Okay. Who are you picking amongst this group? Tua? Kyler Murray? Geno Smith's available in one form or another. Kirk Cousins? Mac Jones? You have to trade for him. And by the way,
you're going to have to give something up.
Could be a bidding war. He's got a contract for this year for $3 million. Okay. So think about how great that is for your cap. And
Let me
by
just
the way,
stop you right there quickly with Mac Jones. What would you take if you're San Francisco? What would it take to trade him? Because, like you just mentioned, that's a $3 million contract. That's a really good backup on a team that they think's a playoff team. And their guy, Purdy, seems to get dinged up for a few games every year. So what would it take if you were Lynch to get him away from you? What would it take to pry him away?
the highest Friday pick I could get. I would just tell everybody, don't think you can get him for a 4th rounder. Okay. If I have to settle for a 3rd rounder, I'd be disappointed. Seriously. I mean, I would be auctioning him off for the highest Friday pick that I can get, and it would just be an auction. And whichever one's the highest offer, that's the one I'd do. Because I'm going to lose him. The reason why is if I keep him, barring Purdy suffering a very serious injury, I'm going to lose Mac and get nothing for him. Okay. I don't even know if you'd get a compensatory for him. Maybe, depending on the contract he signed. So that's why, Mark, if you're going to get something, you have to decide, am I all in this year and I'm keeping, like the Tigers with Scooble, if you know what I mean. Am I all in this year and I'm keeping them, I'm getting nothing? Or, wow, I can get a 2nd-round pick for Mac Jones? Yeah, I'm taking it. Because I'm going to get nothing for him in a year. Yeah, now we need a backup quarterback, but you know what?
No, I'm with you.
Kyle Shanahan thinks pretty fondly of himself. You know, he thinks he could probably muster one up. So here are your choices. Some of them are free. Some of them you're going to have to trade for. Tua, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, Mac Jones. Do you want me to throw Aaron Rodgers on the list? Because I will say, if I'm Minnesota, I may have to kick that tire. Forget the whole Pittsburgh thing and Mike McCarthy and all that. If I'm Minnesota, and there's a lot swirling out of Minnesota about J.J. McCarthy's future. Okay, if I'm Minnesota, do I have to seriously consider calling the old guy up? Who reportedly, before he signed with Pittsburgh, remember, called the Vikings and was like, I'd come to you. Do you want me? I'd go there. And then he went to Pittsburgh. So a year later, do you call Aaron and go, upon further review, we made a mistake. You got your year with Tomlin. I know you enjoyed it. But how about a dome with these receivers? What do you say? So you tell me, and now I'm serious. You got to decide. This segment's got 5.5 minutes left. Okay. Twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, the chat room, the text line. Okay. YouTube chat room, the whole deal. Seriously. No, you got to decide. Enough talk. Free agency starts a week from Wednesday. You need a quarterback. Whether it's a veteran to start, you got nobody, I didn't put Malik Willis on the list. That's too easy. Young, but that's all. You're going to have to pay $30 million, by the way.
At least. That's the scary thing. That seems to be the starting line for Malik Willis. Out of the list you gave me, David, I would go Cousins first.
Okay.
I would go Cousins. There are a lot of people that thought, particularly at his age, coming off of the Achilles injury, that last year early was going to go like last year ended up going for him. But he ended up, 5-2 in his last 7 or something like that?
Yeah, when he took over from Penix, he went 5-2.
And his health in the second half of the year looked far better than it did in the early part of the year. So I would go Cousins 1.
Okay.
It's interesting, and I'll just look at it from the Vikings, because I think the Vikings are a pretty good team with great receivers. I would take Cousins before I would take Rodgers. Rodgers would be 2 on that list, and I don't know how interested I am on anybody else on that list, because I'm not, what are you going to get Tua for? Probably pretty cheap now that he gets released.
Well, yeah, you could sign him to the veteran minimum. I mean, you can. He's getting paid.
I have no interest in Kyler Murray. He's not shown that he likes playing football.
Okay. Listen, I don't know if there's a right answer, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to pass judgment, but just make sure you all take everything into consideration. If you choose Cousins, he's never come cheap in his life. Just so you know, he ain't getting them on a, he ain't, I'd be shocked if Kirk Cousins signs for you what Aaron Rodgers signed for Pittsburgh last year, 1 year for $13 million. I don't think Kirk Cousins will give you that deal. You can ask, okay, I'd like you to record the laughter. You know, Aaron Rodgers will be 43 next year. You know, boy, could Geno's stock have fallen more in a year? Whoo-wee. Tua, Kyler Murray. By the way, and I've got Minnesota in my head. Okay, if I'm the Vikings, what do? If I'm the Vikings, I'd call John Lynch up right now and say, what's it going to take for Mac Jones? Now, right now.
Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. First texter said, I'd give a second round to San Francisco and take Mac Jones and be thrilled.
Done. And if I'm the Vikings, that's what I would do, by the way. That's what I would do. I've got cap issues. I'm 40-something million over the cap today. Now, I'll rework some contracts. I'll cut some guys. I'll get there. But I can get Mac Jones for $3 million for this year. Sign him to a long-term extension. By the way, you could sign him to the Darnold Baker extension. 3 for $100. And that's the only thing I'd ask of John Lynch. I need an hour with him and his agent. Okay? That's what I would ask for. I don't know if he'd give it. But I'm serious. It's put
For
up
those
or
paying
shut up
attention,
time,
pick 49's Minnesota.
Yeah, okay. By the way, I believe that's right around where the Eagles got Hurts. 49, 50, 51 is where they drafted Jalen Hurts back in the day. So, you know, the time for talking's over. You got to decide. You need a quarterback. Whether you just want to get through 1 year or whether you're like, you know what? I can't take my chance in the 2026 or 2027 draft. I'm going to hitch my wagon to somebody for the next 3 years, blah, blah, blah. These are the choices, man. Tua, Kyler Murray, Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins, 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers. That's if he wants to play. Mac Jones you got to trade for. Who else? Oh, yeah, Malik Willis going to cost you 3 for $100.
That sounds about right. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. Gentleman says, if I'm the Vikings, I'm going hard after Aaron Rodgers. And if you can't get him, Mac Jones for a second rounder is a no-brainer.
Okay, good. That's at least a plan. Let's go.
Had a Steelers fan in the chat room says they want Geno Smith. Put him back with DK. Okay.
Not going to take much. no, Raiders are going to be like, you know, what's that old, you know, Henny, you know, take my wife, please. Here you go. Take them.
Do you have a sleep problem but don't want to wear a CPAP mask? This is Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. The mask wasn't working for me, and I didn't think I had an alternative. I do. We all do. They have such simple alternatives with greater success than the mask. Visit sleeptreatmentdirect.com. That's sleeptreatmentdirect.com. And if you are like me and your CPAP machine isn't working for you, it's time for a change. Call 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. The fun is happening now at the Southwest Florida Ag Expo. Bring the whole family. Thrilling midway rides, delicious fair food, good old-fashioned Florida fun. Experience agriculture up close. Meet the farm animals. Celebrate a community's roots. Live entertainment, family activities all day long. All under one roof at the Mike Greenwell Regional Park, formerly the Lee County Civic Center. Get details and daily schedules at swflagexpo.com. That's swflagexpo.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
This is Miller and Moulton.
No, Mello. No.
What on our ratings? No. If you're an advertiser and want to talk to me about our ratings and want to do some advertising, I'll be more than happy to get into a discussion with you about it. But it's not something we've ever done over the air and will never do over the air.
No, we finished number 1 in a ratings book and didn't talk about it, which was an unheard of accomplishment.
Eight seconds.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Overreaction Monday. It is the first Monday of March. March! You know what that means, right? Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. So what do we go with? What'd you watch this weekend?
What did you watch the most of? Because I assume people watch multiple things. And we chose golf, hockey, the combine, and basketball. And sure, we could have put racing up there. I chose not to because I didn't watch any of it. I didn't watch any of the combine either, but I had to put the combine up just to see how many times David could throw up in his mouth during the show. Right now, basketball is in the lead with over 41% of our audience having chose basketball that they watch the most of. And I didn't do NBA or college. I just said basketball.
Right.
And, you know, I watched, in fact, I didn't even put in there Friday night. I watched a little Pistons Cavs.
And you should have.
Good comeback after Cade Cunningham fouled out. And no Harden or Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs because, you know, it's the NBA and why the players play.
Right. Yeah, how players play.
Hockey is now second on our list with 29% of the vote. The combine is third with 17% of the vote. I had a little side bet with David that the combine will not finish last. Golf right now bringing up the rear with about 11% of the vote. And we're in big golf markets.
Yeah.
You know, of our 3 big markets, and we're on in 6 markets, 5 in Florida and Huntsville, Alabama. But of our 3 big markets, Tampa's the biggest. Jacksonville is the next largest market. And then the Fort Myers, Naples market, obviously where we got started and probably have the most listeners. But Tampa, St. Pete and Fort Myers, Naples are 2 of the 3 biggest golf markets in the country. And I watched a little bit of yesterday, but I watched my alma mater, Michigan State, was playing, so the golf went off. But I watched some golf on Saturday. We even watched a little after the hockey game last night. TGL came on, and I even watched a little TGL. I will say it was funny, and I know you don't watch the TGL, and I get it, David. But it was Tiger's team against Rory's team. And Tiger was there. He's not often there. And Tiger was, you know, he did his interview. He was hanging out with the guys and his team's Homa, Kim, and Ashke.
Bhatia.
And I like it.
Right.
But Homa had played in the Cognizant. So
Yeah.
Of all the players, he was the only one that played 18 holes, drove down the road, and had to do it. And he said I was tired. I mean, just from, you know, getting up early, playing 18 holes, and then having to drive and do this because it didn't start until 9 o'clock last night. It's golf, but it's a long day for anybody if you're, you know, doing 2 different events. But Tiger, the best part of the whole thing was for me, David, is when they walked to the green, Tiger took the pin out every time, every hole. Basically, Tiger was the caddy. And it didn't matter if Rory's team was putting or Tiger's team was putting. When it was time for the pin to come out, Tiger grabbed the pin and at the end of the hole, put it back in. And I'm just looking at it going, that's something I've never seen before. Because when he plays in a tournament, he doesn't touch the pin. That's the caddy's job.
Right.
So this is Tiger, just if you're out playing golf with Tiger and he's got his 3 guys out there and they're playing a foursome, Tiger's just grabbing the pin. Or, when he's maybe playing with Charlie right now and hitting it. And, he's starting to hit some full shots, but he's probably out playing with his kid a lot, grabbing the pin while he putts. It just is a dynamic that I've never once seen Tiger Woods look like a regular guy on the golf course. And that it was just kind of cool to see Tiger look like one of the guys for a change. It really was.
Would be funny if one of the guys in the group would say, "Hey, T, could you attend that for me for a second?"
Would have that, or hey, leave it in, Tiger. Can you put the pin back in for this putt?
Right.
Yes, it would have been great. But that's our poll question. What did you watch the most of? Golf, hockey, the combine, or basketball? Go to that Mark Miller, the David Moulton, or Miller_Moulton on X. If you do not subscribe to the X platform, you can always text us on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. 21,000 is the number. The keyword is Miller if you've never texted the show before. So text Miller to 21,000 and then let it rip. So that's that.
Send as many texts as you want. Horizon League tournament gets underway tonight. So in essence, the beginning of way to play your way into the field begins tonight. It's my favorite non-NCAA tournament week of the college basketball season. I love small conference tournament week. I must admit, I don't like how every small conference tournament is being run. I think they've ruined the A-Sun tournament. Not that anybody cares, and some of the tiebreakers and the seedings and the brackets are an absolute convoluted mess. But
I will say this, David, and I know where you're coming from, but I think largely it's done because these small conferences are trying to do everything they can to give their conference champion the best opportunity to win the conference tournament because these guys want they want a best chance for an upset.
Not the A-Sun. The A-Sun spent 10 years, Mark, doing exactly that. The A-Sun, the A-Sun, you and I did the A-Sun tournament when they picked a spot. Okay, whether the team was going to be good that year or not, whether the team was going to be in the semis or the finals. You and I did an A-Sun tournament game in which and the game was televised on ESPN2, and there weren't 600 people in the gym. All right. And they had to literally move everybody and sit them in 2 sections directly across from the camera. They literally grabbed 5 people, walked them across the court, told them to stand behind the ESPN announcers. I forget who the play-by-play guy was, but the analyst was Derek Wittenberg. Okay. And hey, do me a favor. Don't make a bunch of noise, but here's some streamers and what have you. And we're going to do our open and you guys, be behind us and and they literally staged their open and walked the kids back across the court and sat them down. And then they realized, well, this is ridiculous. Why don't we actually have the tournament where, there are people in the stands? It looks good. Hey, how about if you play the regular season so you can get home court advantage for conference tournament games? What a novel concept. And they had the perfect small conference tournament going, where depending on your seeding, you hosted or you went on the road. Imagine that. And by the way, I broadcast games for the last 10 years, all throughout the A-Sun tournaments. Every gym was packed that I did a game from. Yeah, they're back to one site. Why? It's convenient for the conference. Good. There's going to be 137 people at the games.
So it's not at the 1 seed?
Oh, no. They're all in Jacksonville now. Oh, no. The lead-up games, okay, the play-ins and the quarterfinals, so half of them are at Swisher Gymnasium at Jacksonville University. The other half are at UNF Arena on the other side of town.
And help me here. I know UNF was one of the bottom teams in the conference this year. Where was JU?
JU's like 10th. No,
Okay, so these are two of the worst teams in the conference.
Right. Now,
okay.
I will say they're not going to give them home games. So like when North Florida's playing, they're going to play on JU's court. When JU's playing, they're going to play on North Florida's court. But still, I mean,
yeah, because they fixed it where the 1 seed is, obviously if they win, they kept playing home games. That gives your 1 seed the best advantage to get to the tournament.
Well, the importance of being a 4 versus a 5. The 4, you got the home game.
Not to mention for conferences that need money. I mean, this is a conference that's reliant on the gate. These teams, they get a cut of that. The conference gets a cut as well. So it is that's a tragedy. That really is. It's for a better word, it's lazy.
Well, whatever it is. Now the semis and the finals are going to be downtown at the big arena. Yeah, there's an unbelievably good chance that neither Jacksonville team's going to be in it. How many people are going to travel to Jacksonville on short notice? Seriously. From Central Arkansas, from Charlotte, North Carolina, where Queens is. Maybe some people come down from Nashville for Lipscomb. Okay, Austin Peay is the top 4 team in the league. I'm telling you, the arena is going to be empty. And the finals is going to be on a good time slot on this coming weekend on either ESPN or ESPN2.
Did they do it? Was this because of the network and any reason saying they had to know where the game was going to be? Because, a lot of these conferences do that the higher seed or the better seed gets to host games.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you, it was done for the convenience of the conference. Okay, because the conference moved their offices to Jacksonville. And so the league did it. It's stupid. They had figured it out. They went from the situation I described where we were broadcasting the ASUN final live on ESPN2, by the way, opposite Carolina Duke. Okay. And there were 600 people in the gym and they fixed it. And I'll give the old FGCU AD credit, Ken Kavanaugh. He single-handedly fixed it. And he ruffled a lot of feathers over a couple years, but it ended up being a perfectly seeded and situated small conference tournament where every single game was played before big crowds. And you played the regular season to earn home court games in the conference tournament. It was perfect. Yeah. Now, go to one city, play in 3 different gyms, and good luck. Right. Gotcha.
That's David Moulton's Vent of the Day. Vent of the Day is something you could sponsor by texting the show at 21,000. On the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, they're already sponsoring something. So David's Vent of the Day is available for your sponsorship. I think it makes a hell of a segment and a good Christmas present as well. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. We've got a poll question up today. What did you watch the most of this weekend? Golf, hockey, the combine, or basketball? That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X to vote.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
At the Diamond District, we believe your I do deserves more.
More selection, more sparkle, more diamonds. You'll find the ring for your forever.
During our diamond event, March 6th through 8th.
Explore every cut, color, and carat weight imaginable, from timeless classics to striking modern designs.
Choose the ring that says it all. March 6th through 8th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So apparently Lenardi's only doing these, I read through it now, on Tuesday and Friday, twice a week. How is that possible in March?
I don't know.
That's amazing to me.
Charlie Cream was the women's bracketologist. He does one probably not this week. I think he'll do one like every other day, but beginning next week, he'll do one every day. Every day he does one. At least he
This
did.
is a hell of a morning for me. Between everybody texting me, telling me what station doesn't work, like I care, first off, and then having to text with all of them, and then my mother busted in a couple segments ago,
Saw that.
wanting to talk to me while I'm literally talking on the air. And she's running out with laundry. They give you instructions here. You can't do laundry until 9. Shut, Mom, you can't do laundry. Then she gives me this disgusted look like it's my effing rule. And now she's left. I have no idea where she is. And not to be a dick, I can't cook. I need some food so I can take the 20 pills that I need to take this morning. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, I got something here, by the way.
Good.
I'm good on coffee. Thank you. She came through for the bagel. That's good. That's really important right now. No worries. Out of eligibility, Skip.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Overreaction Monday, first Monday of March. If it's March, therefore, there will be madness. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Our poll question: what'd you watch this past week? Whether it be golf, hockey, basketball, the combine. I so hope the combine finishes last. Be very disappointing to me if it doesn't.
I want it to win.
It's not going to win, but it wins if it doesn't finish last. Little side bet between Miller and Moulton. We're both betting with our heart.
Well, no, I'm betting wanting to make you as angry as possible.
Oh.
It's not really my heart, and it's mean, but
right.
I want it to finish ahead of something, and the only thing it's got a shot of finishing ahead of right now is golf.
Well, it will be, for me, today's sign of the apocalypse. You know, the old thing in the early pages of Sports Illustrated, today's sign of the sports apocalypse, and they'd list 2 or 3 things. Yeah, that would be it.
Well, David, I love a good promotion. As someone who worked in minor league hockey for many years, doing different giveaway nights, doing different things, love them. Those of you that lived in Southwest Florida for a long time, when they were the Miracle, Andrew Seymour, right?
Correct. He
was the guy that ran the team. And I think he's
Cardinals.
Yeah. And he was he and they at that time were as good at promotions as anyone in the country. I'm not saying they don't do a good job now, but they were at their peak during that time and did some great stuff. But David, did you see the promotion that the Atlanta Hawks have planned on March 16th?
I don't think so.
They're hosting the Orlando Magic that night.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Atlanta, Georgia, is that it is one of the best places for the ballet in the United States of America. Miami, I'm not taking anything away from you. You're probably better than Atlanta now. But Atlanta has a long history with the arts. And
Right.
by the ballet, I mean strip club. In fact, when I was lucky enough to work for a team that won a championship in Atlanta, we had a night at an adult entertainment club where we had the Turner Cup, which was the trophy for winning the IHL, at the club. They actually served pretty decent food. They had a whole spread for the team. Team owners and women that worked for the team were all there. But the place right now that probably gets the most notoriety in Atlanta is Magic City.
Is that the one with the wings?
You're damn right it is, David. And March 16th is Magic City night for the Atlanta Hawks game.
Is it really?
Yes. And as I quote the press release, to celebrate the, and I quote, iconic cultural institution, unquote. That's on a team press release. Iconic cultural institution about a strip joint.
It's also a game on a Monday night.
The Hawks are planning a night filled with food, which includes the club's famous lemon pepper wings, along with music and exclusive merchandise. I've seen the hoodie with Magic City on it. Nothing says family night at the game like
Right.
getting your child a Magic City hoodie. There's a documentary that was done on Magic City. As the filmmaker and Hawks principal owner said, the collaboration and theme night is very meaningful to me after all the work we did to put together Magic City, an American fantasy. The iconic Atlanta institution has made such an incredible impact on our city and its unique culture. I'm not making this up. Man, this is a fact. It was a 5-part Stars docuseries that this guy helped put on. But yes, they will be serving 2 versions of the lemon pepper wings, including the one named for former Hawks guard Lou Williams. He had his own wing. T.I. will perform at halftime. And as T.I. said, we're doing this one for the city, Magic City. So of all of the promotions I've heard of, and I was texting with an old friend of mine, and he and I worked for the minor league hockey team in Southwest Florida. And I jokingly said to him, do you think Brush, who was the owner of the team, would have been receptive to me having a fantasies night at an Everblades game? You have to have lived in Fort Myers for a long time and know of what was maybe the most interesting place near Fort Myers Beach. I don't think it's still there. It may be. I haven't been to the ballet in many, many years.
Can I just ask a question? Were you aware that yesterday in Pittsburgh was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood Day for the Penguins?
I was not.
Okay. Apparently they've been doing this yearly since the beginning of the decade.
Seems like a good family day at the rink, David. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Well, and Mark, that was kind of the theme, to celebrate the series, which was filmed in Pittsburgh, legacy of kindness, compassion, modeling what it means to be a caring neighbor, values that continue to resonate across generations in Pittsburgh and beyond. Okay. If we were to put up a poll question, do we think that's the difference between the NBA and the NHL, or do we think that's the difference between Atlanta and Pittsburgh?
Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Atlanta and Pittsburgh, because as someone who spent 13 years in minor league hockey, I worked in Atlanta, I worked in Nashville, I worked in Raleigh, and I worked in Southwest Florida for different teams. One thing I know, while the Hoopers all love their ballet clubs, so do the guys that play hockey. At least they did. So, and traveling with those guys over the years, made it to many a ballet.
So I just thought, there you go. So what are they calling it in Atlanta?
Magic City Night.
Magic City Night. Meanwhile, yesterday afternoon in Pittsburgh, it was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood Day before the Penguins' 5-0 win over Las Vegas.
By the way, quick sidebar. They're without Sidney Crosby. This team was supposed to be horrible with Sidney Crosby.
I know.
They're contending for a division. Now, I don't think they're going to catch Carolina. I don't think they're as good as Carolina. But man, oh man, what a job the Pittsburgh. And I know one probably doesn't care about the Penguins. I know we've got like one guy who's a Pittsburgh fan in our chat room. But outside of Yinzer, nobody cares about the Pens this year. But damn it, what a good job they've done. Really and truly. That's remarkable.
And got rid of their cup-winning coach. And
he's done so well for the Rangers.
Well, I wouldn't blame him. I mean,
yeah, but they're a grease fire in New York.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the GM has everything to do with it. But, yeah, absolutely.
Now, he did help the Team USA to a gold medal. So
I was going to say, I mean, he can coach. He should have stayed in Pittsburgh. It's got more to work with.
So, yes, from Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood at a Pens game to Magic City Night coming up against the Orlando Magic 2 weeks from today for an NBA game.
Mr. Rogers to Magic City Wings. Oh my goodness. Mr. Rogers and what they were selling on the concourse versus the Magic City stuff they will be selling on the concourse in
Right,
Atlanta.
a red cardigan or a Magic City hoodie. And when you go to Magic City, you just have to tell your significant other, it was for the wings. It was for the wings.
The fun is happening now at the Southwest Florida Ag Expo. Bring the whole family. Thrilling midway rides, delicious fair food, good old-fashioned Florida fun. Experience agriculture up close. Meet the farm animals. Celebrate a community's roots. Live entertainment, family activities all day long. All under one roof at the Mike Greenwell Regional Park, formerly the Lee County Civic Center. Get details and daily schedules at swflagexpo.com. That's swflagexpo.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
What's your bagel?
Plain.
Okay.
Plain. I'm a plain guy. Cream cheese, toasted.
So, like, if you walked into a good bagel shop, that would still be your bagel of choice?
Probably.
Okay.
If somehow they had a sourdough one, I would probably try that, but you very rarely see that.
Right.
But I don't need all that crap on my bagel. There's a bagel place in the hotel by where I worked at in Nashville that did a bagel with cream cheese, scrambled egg, and American cheese. And it all melted together. It was a bagel sandwich. It was amazing. Amazing. I've done more bread the last month than I have in the last 2 years.
No tuna mac, Johnny Mac. That was early last week.
Aurora, I honestly, these are just, first off, I've been in the hospital and now I'm in this place. I don't go out for breakfast. It's whatever I can get. So no, I don't even know where Stuff-A-Bagel is. And like I said, before I got into the hospital, I don't do breakfast typically, and I certainly wasn't doing bread. I'll get back off of that when I get a little healthier.
Well, I mean, I know it's a joke, but I don't think it's a joke. How do you not draft wide receivers from Ohio State and LSU? How do you not draft offensive linemen and tight end from Iowa? I mean, how many good ones do each school have to produce?
It's a great look, Tim. He's great. He would have been worth watching the combine for all by himself. So I'm getting my magnesium Saturday, and Philip was the nurse. And he looks in, he goes, "Hey, you're the one they did that article on Moffat.com." I said, "I am." He was a Dolphins and Giants fan. And talk about just bewildered and betrayed about the NFL. We sat and talked ball for 10 minutes. It was great. Thank you, Michael. I'm good. I'm actually good. I will say this, Michael. Give me your.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Our poll question is a simple one. So what'd you watch this past weekend? Did you watch some hoop, college or pro? Did you watch some golf? Did you watch some hockey? Lots of hockey on. They're going to be playing every other day on average for the rest of the year. Or did you watch the combine? Oofta.
Combine barely beating golf at the moment, David.
Oh,
basketball still in a comfortable lead.
I understand it was the cognizant and all, but oh my goodness. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Panthers done after last night?
It's getting close. It's getting late early, David.
So, not to bore you, but obviously the Panthers have gone to 3 straight finals. They've won back-to-back. The NHL playoffs would be better off if the Florida Panthers were in them. But they're clearly not the team that they've been the last few years. It started with the Barkov injury before the season even began. And, somebody had a stat that I saw this morning, Mark, that the last 2-3 years, what the Panthers' record was tied going into the third period versus what their third period record is this year. They've given up 80 goals in the third period this year. Bobrovsky and company have a save percentage of 82%. They've had 3 games that they've lost in the final minute in which the game was tied. Going into the final minute of regulation, they've lost and got no points out of. In the last 3 years, you know how many times that had happened to them? Twice. It's happened 3 times this year. and we still have over a quarter of the season to go. I mean, they're clearly not the same team. We've seen it happen where a team plays a lot of games over a lot of years and they're just worn out and they need a year to catch their breath, especially when things go wrong with injuries and what have you.
Well, I think we'll find out what Bill Zito, the Panthers GM, thinks of their chances here in the next 4 days.
Yep.
Because the trade deadline's here. And one of the players, and I'm not saying it's from GMs, it's not, but one of the players that hockey writers have brought up a lot here in the last week or so is Bobrovsky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, would they get rid of their older goaltender? And when you look at a team like Edmonton, when, you know, there are some teams out there that think they could make a run at something. And if they trade Bobrovsky, I've seen Rodriguez, who's a good third line player, bottom six guy, has, you know, obviously, what does this guy have? Great playoff experience. So if you're a Buffalo, a Detroit, trying to make the postseason for a first time in a long time, would a guy like that be of help? You know, just to me, what the Panthers do here in the next 4 days will show their hand. Are they in, or have they just sacrificed this season and is Barkov not coming back?
And do they, although trading Bobrovsky would be major within the Florida Panthers organization, that'd be a major trade. Okay, when in reality, it'd be a significant move for whoever picked him up, but he is older. I believe he's in the final year of his contract, and he's not playing nearly as well this year as he has the last three. Not even close. Okay, but also if you're the Panthers, you know, they're right up against the cap, and the NHL cap's a hard cap, and it only goes up about $3-4 million a year. Okay, and do the Panthers maybe give themselves some freedom financially this offseason coming up? And do they unload a big name, a veteran forward perhaps? Do they unload and give themselves some flexibility going forward?
So, you know, the NHL doesn't mess around at the trade deadline. This is a league that trades. And I mean, they trade so much that the NBA looks at them and says, wow, you guys make some trades at the deadline. So I do think it's worth paying attention to what the Panthers do. To me, they're a big part of this deadline. I mean, you've got, you know, Columbus, who's been great since they hired the new coach, but they're still out. Ottawa still a few points out. So, you know, and then, you know, Detroit and Buffalo trying to make it for the first time in a long time.
So they're 8 points out of the final playoff spot. They have 5 teams that they have to climb over. They have 22 games. The Bruins are the last wild card, I believe, right now in the East.
They are.
Okay, the Bruins are averaging 1.2 points a game. If they were to continue that pace, and they have 23 games left, okay, the Bruins would finish at around 97, 98 points. The Panthers are at 63. Do the math. That's 34 points in 22 games. Okay, now could the Bruins underachieve slightly? But then would any of the teams in between Boston and Florida, you know, play at a level? So pick the number, just pick the number 97. The Panthers need 34 points in 22 games.
That's some combination of 17 wins, basically, you know, 15,
Right.
whatever, and 2.
Right.
Well,
16,
you do,
right.
you can figure it out. But
Right.
basically, it's some combination of 17 wins.
And don't you think 16, 4, and 2, like you said, let's just play it safe. Give them a little bit of margin for error. All right. 16, 4, and 2. How many games do they have between now and the trade deadline? They just had back-to-back losses. All right. Back-to-back gut-wrenching losses. They got totally screwed in the Sabres game, by the way. That's clearly goaltender interference. The guy's stick was in Bob's glove. How's he supposed to make the glove save? Okay, when as the puck is literally halfway to the goal, the guy's stick is in his glove. Come on now. Of course it's goalie interference. they got screwed. All right. But hey, stuff happens. And then they lose at 32 seconds to go last night in Long Island. So they get no points out of back-to-back games against teams that they're trying to leapfrog in the Sabres and the Islanders. And
Now,
Mark,
of those 22 games, the Panthers' schedule is not that difficult. There are only 10 games out of the 22 that they are playing against current playoff teams.
okay.
So their schedule is doable.
Okay.
I mean, that's 12 teams that are not playoff teams. And
Right.
then, okay, I mean, you get 10 of those.
Yep.
And you have to. I mean, that's what you have to count on those. And then out of the other 10, they got to get 6.
Right. Now, remember, this great run started by the Panthers 3 years ago, squeezing into the playoffs like a racehorse coming from behind, down the stretch they come, and winning at the wire. They squeezed into the playoffs, the very last spot, by 1 point. And they took that, photo finish and went all the way to the finals and began this 3-year run. So that's another thing. If you're running the Panthers, do you go, we've done it before. And if we get in, we get Barkov back.
Okay. This is kind of the hockey geek in me. But now we all know this guy's name because we all watched the Olympics. He doesn't seem to like where he's at, and the fan base hates him. Literally was introduced at their first home game after the Olympics, and it took a second for them to finally applaud the man. They applauded their 2 other Olympians.
Yep.
When they brought him out, he got heckled a little bit, and finally it rose to a standing ovation. But it took a little bit. I'm talking about the Maple Leafs, and I'm talking about Austin Matthews. If you're running the Maple Leafs right now, are you quietly behind the scenes trying to figure out what you can get for him at the deadline? And if you were running the Leafs, would you trade him, David?
I would trade him in the offseason. I'd get a lot more for him, I think, in July. But yeah, he's in play. Sure.
I think so too. I hate to say it because I don't, but look, I didn't think Matthews was worthy of the C on Team USA. I'm so happy that they won the gold medal. I'm happy for him that he won a big game and he contributed. He played great 2-way hockey. Don't know what he was thinking. Side of the goal wide open, not shooting as a guy who had 68 in the league, but I'll leave that to the side for now. But it's not working in Toronto. They don't like the fact that he's American. They don't. They hold it against him. They don't like that an American is captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Those that really follow the Leafs, what do they say? We need a dog. He ain't a dog.
No, they want Wendell Clark. They want Doug Gilmour. They were okay. They grew into Matt Sundin because he was just a phenomenal player.
But even when Matthews scored 68 because they didn't get it done in the playoffs, that season, fell apart in their eyes.
Mm-hmm. No.
So
this is Miller.
I don't know if you could pull that big a trade off at the deadline. I mean, that's a monster deadline.
And to
trade.
your point, David, then you got to find the team that's got the cap money to fit him in. So you're probably right. That it couldn't happen until the offseason, but I'm at least exploring it. That would be the blockbuster. If there's a blockbuster out there in the next 4 days, it's could somebody find the room to add Austin Matthews to their roster?
I do like the thought of sending Bobrovsky to Edmonton, though, because the guy they acquired, he got hurt. And amazing because he had a history of getting hurt, and Edmonton acquired him, and 2 weeks later he got hurt. It's unbelievable, and their goaltending's still bad. It's unbelievable. Draisaitl. Did you hear what he said? at the road trip, he's sitting at the locker and he goes, yeah, we can't be expected to score 5-6 goals every night and win.
Yeah, this isn't the 1982 Edmonton
Yeah,
Oilers. If
he
you know
said
what I
this
mean.
out loud. Okay, he
He's
said
not
this out
that
loud.
afraid to say things, David.
Uh,
He's a quote machine.
I mean, he also looked right at the media and said, you know, we had a 3-game road trip. We scored 17 goals. We won 1 game. And he goes, what are we supposed to do? So
just a little hockey talk. The deadline's coming up. There are moves to be made. You know, I don't think Tampa will do much. I think Tampa's pretty comfortable with their hockey team right now. If there's a depth guy that they might want to acquire, you know, a bottom 6 guy, a bottom 2 defenseman, maybe. But Tampa's set. They've got a good 4 defenseman. They've got a top 2 lines. They're fine. They've got a goaltender.
Boy, Cooper was not happy the other night. First off, he's had a horrible last 10 days. He loses the gold medal in overtime, and he absolutely hated 3-on-3. Even if he won, he hated it. All right, his dad dies, okay, and then his hockey team loses 2 in a row. The second one, they're at home. He comes back. They're down 5-0 in the second. He never pulls Vasi in the middle of a game, ever. He literally looked at the media and said, when's the last time I pulled him mid-game? And apparently it'd been like 9 years. Okay. But down 5-0, he's like, I got to pull him, you know, that we're playing terrible. It's not on him. He understands. But, you know, and Cooper was, you could just tell, he's like, yeah, I ain't happy.
Buffalo went in there and whooped up on him.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, they were down 3-0 to start the Carolina game 10 minutes in. They're down 5-0 to start the Buffalo game. You could tell Coop is looking around like, what the heck? We were 19-1-1 in 21 games. What the world's going on?
Give it up to Buffalo. They're playing good down the stretch here. Their game's good.
How about them coming to Florida and beating both the Panthers and the Lightning? Yeah, good for the Sabres.
They look like they're a solid playoff team. I'm still worried about my Wings, but Buffalo to me looks like they're a playoff team. Montreal's playing okay. They're the top 3 in that division right now. Detroit and Boston are the 2 wild cards. With Washington closest. They're 4 back of Boston.
Empire wants the Lightning to bring Stamkos back home. Okay. I will say this. He's minus 15. He's basically
it's a bad hockey team.
He's basically, you know, first off, Nashville would have to retain a bunch of salary. And Stammer would have to be a role player, and Stammer a role player in Tampa. That'd be quite the mental adjustment for him to accept that.
The Diamond District bonus hour is on the other side, which means if you're in Fort Myers and Naples, you probably need to check out Twitch or YouTube. Thanks for listening, Miller and Moulton.
Do you have a sleep problem but don't want to wear a CPAP mask? This is Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. The mask wasn't working for me, and I didn't think I had an alternative. I do. We all do. They have such simple alternatives with greater success than the mask. Visit sleeptreatmentdirect.com. That's sleeptreatmentdirect.com. And if you are like me and your CPAP machine isn't working for you, it's time for a change. Call 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. The fun is happening now at the Southwest Florida Ag Expo. Bring the whole family. Thrilling midway rides, delicious fair food, good old-fashioned Florida fun. Experience agriculture up close. Meet the farm animals. Celebrate a community's roots. Live entertainment, family activities all day long. All under one roof at the Mike Greenwell Regional Park, formerly the Lee County Civic Center. Get details and daily schedules at swflagexpo.com. That's swflagexpo.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Today is National Egg McMuffin Day. Today and only today, $1. Well, Mr. Spivey, once again, there's websites, there's apps. I mean, in fact, the apps, the signal's exquisite on Twitch and YouTube. So, and it's not our doing, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we're sorry, but we don't work for this station, guys. We don't work. It's out of our control.
I hope you understand that, we're a syndicated show that the Beasley picked up and they ran. Beasley sold the station. The new ownership group is changing the station, changing the programming on it, moved it to different signals. And in our case, they are not going to run the final hour of the show. They're going to run Dan Patrick instead. The final hour may run elsewhere at some point in time. We're working on it. But the show is still going to go on because we're live in Tampa, St. Pete, 9 to 10. We're live in Jacksonville, 9 to 10. So,
I'm guessing, David, I'm going to put the over-under on text in the first segment of Where Are You? Or Dan Patrick's on. I'm going to put it at 15.5.
On the text line or you personally?
On the text line.
By the way, somebody did make a good point. NBC got one sit-down interview with Michael Jordan before the season, and they've cut it up and run parts of it throughout the year. That's it. Meanwhile, NASCAR's talking to him during races, after races. Okay, and he's winning, so his face looks like MJ from the 90s. He looks, looks and sounds great.
Well, and it's like, who was obviously he's not MJ. Who's the other North Carolina hooper that got into NASCAR really big?
Oh, Doherty. Brad
Doherty.
Yeah.
I mean, they like it. This is something that they've liked their whole lives.
They grew up with it.
Right? And for the record, I'm not on chemo anymore, but thank you.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Diamond District bonus hour on this first Monday of March. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Poll question, simple. So what did you end up watching this weekend? Was it hoop of some kind, pro or college? Was it hockey? Was it golf? Was it really the combine? That you watched more of that than anything else? Really? That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton at X. You can text us, Pelican Roofing text line, 21,000, by the way, if you never texted us before. Keyword Miller on the first text. After that, text to your heart's content.
While I have the final say on the poll question, when David reads the poll question, he can use whatever inflection of voice that he decides to and criticize those who watched the combine as he just did. For the record, I did not watch any of the combine. I watched the hockey, the basketball, and the golf. I watched the most basketball over the weekend, for what it's worth. I watched a little NBA on Friday, a little college on Friday, a little college on Saturday, and a decent amount of college yesterday. But right now, hoop winning nearly 42% of the vote, hockey getting about 26% of the vote, the combine getting 19%, and golf picking up the rest. Right now, about a 5 percentage point lead for the combine over golf. It's big. I don't know what to tell you.
So I'm going to make a prediction. I think the Dolphins are going to go big after Malik Willis. The GM came from Green Bay. The head coach came from Green Bay. If you're at Green Bay the last couple of years, how could you not have a really good opinion of Malik Willis? He showed up 2 years ago and won you back-to-back football games with no notice. He showed up 2 weeks into the season, not into camp. He showed up 2-3 weeks into the season and won you back-to-back games. He came in this year, played well in relief of Jordan Love. He's young. By quarterback standards, he's affordable. He's got upside. Remember, he was a second-round pick this decade. If you're the Dolphins, if you can create, what they're going to do, they're going to unload Tua. They've got no money, but they're going to sign long-term deals with their core 3-4 guys. They're going to restructure some contracts. And they're probably going to do it to create room to sign 1 or 2 players. Mark, I think they're going to go big after Malik Willis. If they don't get him, if they finish second, fine. But I think the Dolphins are going to go big after Malik Willis. And I am fascinated by the teams that right now do not have a proven starting quarterback for next year. Who are they going to get besides Vegas drafting Mendoza?
David, if they are, it is going to be a big signing bonus. It's going to have to be a small salary, big signing bonus. Your 3 years, 100, I think is exactly what it's going to take to get Malik Willis. I truly do. But in Miami's case, where they don't have money because of the Tua contract and the Tyreek Hill contract and some others, but mainly those two, they have a ton of dead money on this year's cap. Right. In order to get that deal done, it's going to have to be a big signing bonus. That's the first thing. David, help me out here. You understand the cap better than I do, and I don't know if anybody truly understands the damn thing. Because they can't dump Tua until after June 1. How much does that affect signing Malik Willis? Do you know if you understand what I'm asking?
Right.
Because you have to be cap compliant, right? Even if you sign someone in free agency, we're in the new year. You have to be cap compliant, right?
Well, you don't have to be cap compliant every day. You have to get cap compliant by the beginning of the new year on March 11th. Okay. But in terms of how much cap room do you have, the Dolphins are going to gain for this year negligible to no cap room by releasing Tua post June 1. But whatever cap room they create, they can't use it until he's officially released. You know, we were talking about a player last week who the team, if they cut him now, saves like $3 million. If they wait till after June 1st, they're going to save like $17 million. Yeah, but if you wait till after June 1st, you don't get that $17 million until June 1st. So, listen, I think Minkah Fitzpatrick gets sacrificed here for Malik Willis. I think that's one of the places, whether it's trade or otherwise. Okay?
And trade would be best for Miami's cap situation instead of cutting him, because there's going to be dead money either way. But I think you can get rid of more of it if you trade him. And you might be able to get something for him. I don't care if it's a 5th or a 6th rounder. You need bodies.
Yeah.
And you need cheap bodies. I mean, that's the other thing. Miami's going to have to be really wise in free agency, and they're going to have to use damn near every draft pick and have it work. Now,
I got to say, and Minkah had a good year last year. And, you know, we could debate whether Minkah's a very good player or a good player. He's first digit, I think, is now a 3 in the age box, and he ain't cheap. But here's the other problem, Mark. Do you know what position is flat out loaded in this year's draft? Safety. Did you see the Oregon safety, the kid who transferred from Purdue, played his final year at Oregon? All right. He ran a 4.37. And I didn't watch it, obviously, but they put a thing together where he ran his 40 and 3 highly touted wide receivers, and they had their 40s superimposed on the screen, and he was faster than all 3 of them.
One of them's Tate from Ohio State.
And the safety's a tackling machine.
By the way, the other guy that had a monster combine, since you brought up Oregon, the tight end that's going in the first round. He's a freak. I mean, he was a good player. They thought he was a first rounder going into the combine. So it didn't matter. I shouldn't say it didn't matter, but unless he bombed at the combine, he was still a first round pick. His 40 time, fastest 40 time for any tight end. His vertical jump, I think the highest vertical jump for any tight end in the history of the combine. And his broad jump was like an inch away, either the broad jump or the vertical. One of them was second all time for tight ends. The other one was the best. He killed it.
Now, I got to tell you, I saw him play in person for the last couple of years. I don't know if he can block. Now, I don't think he's as bad as Kyle Pitts at blocking, but I don't know if he can block well enough to run behind. I don't think so. I think the hope is, I mean, he's got the strength to, goodness knows, because he's built like a house. But I don't know if he's a good enough blocker to be average. I don't think he is to start. The hope is he can get there. But yeah, 241. He's as fast as Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions. All right, think about that. How you covering that? How you covering
that safety from Oregon?
Oh yeah, I mean, right, with Terrion Arnold and right, the kid he practiced against. All right, seriously, he's as fast as Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that's tempting, isn't it? So yeah.
But safeties were really good in the combine. Tight end, you got one guy that's a day one guy. That's it. Running
yeah.
back, you got one guy that's a day one running back. By the way, I happened to see a mock draft that had Love going to Miami. Come on now. Are you kidding me? I've also seen New Orleans a lot, which is one spot ahead of Kansas City. And I've seen the Oregon tight end lined up with the Chiefs. I think that makes a ton of sense. I really do. Travis Kelce's going to play one more year. Let this kid learn the NFL from one of the best tight ends to have ever played the position. Kelce can ride off into the sunset after this year. And what does Mahomes have? Another weapon at tight end. I mean, that made a lot. That tight end to Kansas City, to me, makes a lot of sense. Might be a little higher than some see him picked, but it makes sense to me, David.
But if you're the Chiefs, can you afford to? Word is they've pretty much announced they're releasing starting tackle Jawan Taylor. Going to save $20 million. We thought they needed offensive line help before, that Jawan Taylor was not ideal, but now they got to replace him. No, they have cap issues. I mean, even with Mahomes reworking his deal, they still had cap issues. This will get them cap compliant, I'm pretty sure. But if you're the Chiefs now, does this mean if Love's there, you can't afford? I mean, don't you have to, if you're the Chiefs, hope that the Miami tackle falls to you at 9? I mean, seriously, now, if you're the Chiefs, can you do best player available if you're the Chiefs, or do you have to draft by need at 9? That Love could be the highest ranked guy on your board, but if the Miami tackle's there at 9, don't you go, I know, we got to take him.
Yes, I think so. Because in the running back world, I can get a guy on Friday. Might not be that guy, but I can get a guy on Friday. Now that I'm intrigued like hell on the tight end, I guess I would wonder, and we'll find out tomorrow, Pat Kerwin on the show, what his thoughts were about the tackle crop. How many good tackles are there going to be available on day 2? Because he thought it was a pretty tackle-rich draft. You're not going to get a starting left tackle on day 2, but you might be able to get a start. You should be able to get a starting right tackle, David.
How about take the starting left tackle on day 1 and the starting right tackle on day 2 for Mahomes? Happy birthday.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
At the Diamond District, we believe your I do deserves more.
More selection, more sparkle, more diamonds. You'll find the ring for your forever.
During our diamond event, March 6th through 8th.
Explore every cut, color, and carat weight imaginable, from timeless classics to striking modern designs.
Choose the ring that says it all. March 6th through 8th at the Diamond District. Hablamos Espanol.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I don't know if I hit something there or if David did it. So I got it off. I don't think I hit anything, but it's possible.
What did I do?
There was a comment up on the screen.
I
don't know if you clicked on something inadvertently.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
Bruce Pearl's an idiot, Sonny.
He corrected himself.
He's out against the little guy, though. Trust me.
But he did correct
He's
himself.
trying to get Auburn in. That
Yes,
is self-serving
he is.
for his son. It's completely self-serving.
Which is, and I will say he had been terrific this year as a broadcaster, calling everything like it is, but there's no doubt that, and unless they have if they get in, it'd be an absolute disgrace. They'd have to sweep this week minimum.
By the way, 9 pills to start the day. 7 more coming up here in about 20 minutes, about an hour once I finish my labs. And then I think I do somewhere around another 16 tonight. But it's over 30 pills a day right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Good on the stomach. I must say, the little German place that's close to here been my go-to restaurant. I can eat outside. They have great sausages. Went there when the daughter got in town Saturday. She knocked down a schnitzel. I think you'd be a big schnitzel guy, David.
I don't know how many of them I've had. Like right now, I can't even think of what is it.
It's pounded down pork or veal, breaded and fried.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good German restaurant, too. It's excellent. Great beer selection if I could drink beer. Great deli meats if I could eat those. But their sausages are wonderful. Their schnitzel is wonderful.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us on the Diamond District Bonus Hour. So, I know I said it earlier in the show, but I was only half tongue-in-cheek. I think Greg Sankey's having a tough time. It's not going well right now, and should be. I mean, they're crushing it in a lot of sports. They're getting a lot of teams in all the playoffs and postseason tournaments and all that, but they're not winning the final game in football, even though they did cut down the nets last year in hoops. Sankey, which, wasn't the SEC kind of loving the whole Wild Wild West philosophy not that long ago? So Sankey came out over the weekend, Mark, and he said, yeah, we need to go back to one transfer. That's all you get. That you can leave one time, immediately, and then after that, you got to be penalized. You got to sit out, and I don't even know if we should have unlimited transfers. We got to set some rules in place. Not only that, we got to make the kids go back to school. Hey, Greg, did you fall and hit your head? You okay? No, seriously. All right. Have you gone to the doctor lately? Had some tests? Your blood work good? You low in iron? Okay. Blood pressure, calcium?
Low on iron.
No,
I'm
seriously. you
sorry.
okay?
That's funny, David. I'm sorry. That's a good
Well,
line.
I thought I'd also come up with stuff that, I mean, you know, you're dealing with what you're dealing with. And, it's some test results and, some issues that thought some people maybe could relate to. I mean, wait, hold on. Is this the commissioner of the SEC talking about academics? I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, if you don't have to lay down, Greg, I do. Can you give me a moment? I need to go get blood work, get my blood work tested, because I could have sworn that A, you're trying to rein in the wild, wild west, and B, you want kids to go back to class. I could have sworn I just heard you say that.
Right. When basically there's no one in your conference that is an athlete that's going to class. They are taking online courses if they're taking anything at all. And that's okay. But it is rich, I guess would be the easiest way to say it, David. It is rich.
I think he's trying to get out ahead of what's still on the schedule for Friday afternoon, this college sports roundtable at the White House. Don't know if what's going on elsewhere is going to keep that on the schedule or not, but for now it's still on the schedule. That's compartmentalizing, by the way. I mean, what's the daily briefing? What's the president doing today? Okay. Well,
can I just have some fun?
Right.
Can I just ask you a quick David Moulton poll question? Does the conference on Friday, because of what's going on elsewhere, get canceled, or does he simply just move it to Mar-a-Lago so he doesn't have to travel? I can't help it. I'm sorry.
I have to admit, my gut feeling tells me that the conference is still on. He may just have to take a couple calls. Okay. During it.
Possibly. Okay. Fair enough.
But
and I don't know if I've been lucky enough to have gone to Mar-a-Lago once. I don't know if there's a ballroom big enough to have the round table. A lot of rooms, but from what I remember, they're all pretty small.
Okay.
He's got the one dinner room he could probably do it in.
Right. So,
But I don't know if he'd want all of those folks at Mar-a-Lago. That's the other side. The White House, sure. Mar-a-Lago, are you kidding me?
Right. I think 10 or 12 of them he'd be happy with. But yeah, the other 20-something, leave.
I don't think Adam Silver's allowed. That's just me.
Did you bring your clubs? Right. Anyway, just having some fun, lighten up everybody. So anyway, I don't know. Did he fall and hit his head, or did I fall and hit mine?
No. I think you're on I think you're on it the right way the first time.
Okay. All right. That's so. I will say think about how it is right now in the world of big time college athletics. If that's coming out of the mouth of Greg Sankey, okay, you don't think they're freaking out behind the scenes? You don't think they're doing the math? You don't think it's not starting to add up, do you? All right. No, you don't think that, right?
Well, I'm excited if they have the meeting, how quickly information from that meeting is going to be available to all of us. Who's talking? Because with the number of people they have there, they ain't able to shut everybody up, David.
No.
Not. Nick may not say anything, and Urban may not say anything, and the Adam Silvers and some of the Sankeys of the world, they may not say anything. But is Charlie Ward going to walk out of that thing going, boy, they don't care about the players at all? I mean, there are so much of this that I'm fascinated by. And how much information quickly becomes available to the rest of us. Because I think much like that NFLPA report card that couldn't get out and took about 4 minutes for every bit of it to get completely out there and posted on ESPN.com, I think information will come out rather quickly.
I I'm pretty sure Adam Silver will talk. May not be on the record, but I'm pretty sure, okay, there are going to be media outlets calling their NBA people going, can you get Silver to talk? Can you give Silver my number? Okay. Does Silver owe you a favor? You know, if he talk, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, just a thought. Can I just throw this out there?
Go ahead.
Very quick sidebar. There are some that are arguing that college football needs to scrap the conferences doing the negotiating for TV deals, and they need to have the sports treat themselves as one, and they will get far more money from the networks if they did it that way than if they keep going conference by conference and or major sports and side sports. And I'm wondering, Mark, because obviously Sankey doesn't want to give up control, Petiti doesn't want to give up control, etc. But I'm wondering, Mark, if this keeps getting as expensive as it is, and it's only going to get more expensive. We've gone from $20 million to $40 million football teams in 2 years. That line when we laughed at Bud Elliott, that the quarterback's going to make more than the head coach, and I mocked him. By the end of the decade, he may be right. And I'm wondering if this is going to cost so much damn money to play big-time college sports that they may have to blow up the system and run college sports with a commissioner.
Which would then get us to a real salary cap, which would then probably make these players employees like David and I have been talking about for the last 2 years.
And would get them the money, because there are quite a few people that are like, you guys know you should be getting like 3 times the money that you have right now. If you did this the way the pro sports leagues do it, the AFC North's not negotiating for the AFC North against the NFC West. So I'm wondering, Mark, if it's costing so much money, they may have to blow this whole thing up. The fun is happening now at the Southwest Florida Ag Expo. Bring the whole family. Thrilling midway rides, delicious fair food, good old-fashioned Florida fun. Experience agriculture up close. Meet the farm animals. Celebrate a community's roots. Live entertainment, family activities all day long. All under one roof at the Mike Greenwell Regional Park, formerly the Lee County Civic Center. Get details and daily schedules at swflagexpo.com. That's swflagexpo.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
It's certainly my favorite. It's certainly my favorite, like post '70s song. I love Dead Flowers and Sympathy for the Devil's amazing, but that's on my everything playlist, if you will. It's a good tune.
So
It
I
is
threw that.
remarkable of all this.
No,
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Oh, I was just going to say it's remarkable of all the big time groups. You know, the Who, the Stones, the Beatles, and obviously the Beatles. Didn't go into many decades, but I mean, the Stones produced hits in the '60s, the '70s, the '80s, the '90s, and into the 2000s. It's pretty remarkable that they were able to stay relevant as long as they did.
No question. So I threw that excellent question that was thrown at us on Friday in the chat room about, you got 5 bands. That's all you can listen to the rest of your life. So my wife made fun of me with Sinatra. So then she, of course, picks a Christian group, Minister's Kid. Okay. But she was also is it flautist? You played the
Yes,
flute?
I think so.
Okay. She was an award-winning flautist, I guess, and got a college scholarship on it and all that to a music school. So, she then picked a classical artist, and I'm looking at her going, and you're making fun of me? I picked Sinatra? So, anyway. Okay, Fitz, seriously? At his age, it was a, quote, show? He put on a terrific show?
He's not the only person I saw say that. I saw some people online that were like 81 and he can still do this. Oh my
Wow.
God.
I'm very impressed. Wow. Well, that's awesome because I'm sure it wasn't cheap. So, voice hold up? I mean, it's, half the voice, I'm sure that it was, but did it hold up?
Rick, I'm going to go ahead and run the elements from my end just to keep doing that because it's kind of easy timing wise without seeing you. I get it.
Okay, that sounds
and you
fine.
got a
And
lot
also,
going on there.
We're having a hard time finding the bonus hour rejoin. I might have to just run one of the other ones.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm glad you shared that, Fitz.
I think it starts with DD or Diamond District bonus hour rejoin, but that's okay.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. We'll find it. If not, I'll just run another one.
No problem. It says bonus hour DD1 is how it starts.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Final segment of this first Monday in March show. Overreaction Monday. Thanks so much for being with us. Poll question. So what'd you watch this weekend sports-wise? Hoops, hockey, golf, combine? Vote accordingly. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. It's a transition week. Our franchise market is Southwest Florida, and the show gets syndicated out from there to Tampa, St. Pete, Jacksonville, Huntsville, Alabama, Port Charlotte, Venice, Live Oak, Lake City. And the station building that we had produced the show out of for many years, and certainly the last handful, they sold, and a company that we worked for previously, they bought that station. They've just moved into new studios. So, Mark's at Moffett in Tampa. I'm in Jacksonville, and we've got Rick and Raj back in what we call the cozy confines, only they're in a new building with new equipment, and they had been in the old building with the other equipment for a quarter century. They had everything down pat. They walked in, they don't know squat. They're starting over. Okay. They're too old to be starting over. They put in too many years to be starting over. So, now our shows, different equipment, different hours in certain markets. Okay. So it's a transition week, but it's madness. I don't know what to tell you. It's madness.
I do want to thank Jeff Wood and his staff, Jeff Wolf and his staff, because they did a lot of work over the weekend. Thank you very much to get all of this done. It was crazy for those guys. They had a lot going on. And quite frankly, we're not at the top of their list, and nor should we be. No. We're a syndicated show. So the work that they did to get us on the air this morning is most appreciated. It truly is. Thank you very, very much.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
We start in 1776 today. A big one. We started shelling Boston. The British had taken over, and the American troops began shelling Boston today in 1776. 1807, U.S. Congress bans the slave trade within the United States. 1836, Texas says we're independent. We're like Notre Dame. We're getting out of Mexico.
So that's what they said, huh?
Yes, they did.
They signed a deal with the ACC, or was that the Southwest Conference?
No, just with NBC, David, just to televise their events. 1901, U.S. Steel organized under J.P. Morgan. I wonder what would happen with them. The big station in Cincinnati, WLW, began transmissions today in 1922. King Kong premiered today in 1933. Today, you always remember Rosa Parks, but it was actually today in 55 that an honor student, Claudette Colvin, was arrested in Montgomery for refusing to give up her seat to the back of the bus. She would end up being found guilty of assault and placed on indefinite probation. Today in 62, Wilt scores 100. We know that because he put 100 points on a piece of paper and they took a picture of it. It was played in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Wilt was 36 of 63 from the field and 28 of 32 from the line.
That's the stat because he was a career 51% free throw shooter. So for a normal day, he would have hit 17 of those free throws. Instead, he hit 28. But also, how about that, Mark? 63 shots. Wow. Also, think about where the NBA was. This is New York playing Philadelphia. And the game got played in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was like a barnstorming league at times. They were having trouble making it.
Today in 65, one of the most popular films of all time, The Sound of Music, premiered. Bobby Hall, today in 66, becomes the NHL's first two-time 50-goal scorer. Espo becomes the first player to record 100 points in a season, today in 69. Maybe the best music movie ever made, premiered today in 1984. This is Spinal Tap. The Heat announced their logo today. From over 13,000 entries, Mark Henderson submitted the winning entry today in 88 of the Flaming Basketball. To say Madonna was big in '89 would be a vast understatement. Like a Prayer premieres on a worldwide Pepsi commercial. They took 2 minutes of the song and Pepsi paid for it. And oh my goodness, did Pepsi take heat by the next day. Brett Hall becomes a 70-goal scorer today for the second straight season in '91. Lemieux, not that he was very good. And even though, I'm going through some stuff right now, it's not what Lemieux went through. Because today in '93, he undergoes his 22nd and final radiation treatment for his Hodgkin's lymphoma. Then he goes and plays in Philadelphia and has a goal and an assist. To repeat, he finished his 22nd radiation treatment and then played and had a goal and an apple. '93, Teemu Selanne breaks the NHL record for goals by a rookie, passing Mike Bossy's mark of 52. Did it with Winnipeg. Major League Baseball confirms that the postseason would be expanded from 8 to 10 teams today in 2012. Bountygate, also today in 2012, gives Sean Payton a season suspension. They still haven't forgiven the NFL in New Orleans.
Hate Roger Goodell. Hate Roger Goodell. Many a restaurant and establishment that you can still walk into in New Orleans. An X drawn through his circled face. Okay. Nooses with a picture of Goodell in them. Hate him.
A lot of birthdays today. We'll start with Dr. Seuss, Mel Ott, Desi Arnaz, Gorbachev, Denny Crum, Lou Reed, and Karen Carpenter would have all celebrated birthdays today. SNL original Lorraine Newman is 74. Masters champion Woosman, 68. David's guy, John Bon Jovi, is 63. Ron Gant, 61. Daniel Craig is 58, former James Bond. Seabass, Sebastian Janikowski is 48. Which one's better, David? They're both 44. Ben Roethlisberger, Henrik Lundqvist.
As in career-wise?
Yeah. Got to go Ben because of the rings or no?
Yeah, you have to.
Reggie Bush is 41, Tua is 28, and Isaiah Pacheco is 27.
Although I still think Lundqvist could serve. I actually think Lundqvist would be a better backup goalie for the Lightning right now than what they have, heart condition and all.
What did I miss, David?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it was a lot. That you did great.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
An amazing story from Batavia, Ohio. On her way home from work, Andy Burns crashed her car and went down a 15-foot ravine, and her truck flipped into the Little Miami River. After 10 seconds of swallowing water, she found a pocket of air, a 4-inch gap at the floorboard while her truck was upside down. Her Apple Watch crash detection called 911. A 911 dispatcher said, "I'm with you, okay? They're coming." EMS and firefighters were able by tandem to get her out of the truck by smashing the window and saving her life. Absolutely remarkable story. For the bad, we go to California, where a skier, and you can see the entire video, a skier slipped off of her seat on a ski lift. Thanks to her sister and friend, they helped her from falling as she dangled at the Big Bear Mountain Resort on Tuesday. Her twin sister and friend were able to keep her from falling and get her to safety. And finally, the ugly, we go to Target, where a Palm Beach man, Keith Wallace, I think this is a lot of ingenuity here. He was accused of stealing tens of thousands of dollars of trading cards. He was doing so by grabbing packets of taco seasoning mix along with the cards and going to self-checkout, just scanning the taco seasoning mix and not the cards. He was selling the cards online and ended up getting busted for felony robbery of over $1,000. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly. On today, March the 2nd, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, offering new jobs, great pay, bonuses for signing on, as well as overtime opportunities. Plus, other jobs are available. For information on all the jobs, go to capecops.com. That's capecops.com.
Only 4 games in the association tonight. Nightcap is on the NBC Sports Network and Peacock. It's Clippers at Warriors. Warriors, it was announced yesterday, going to play at least 5 more games without Steph. They're hanging in there. I mean, they're in the play-in, but they're hanging in there. You know, the Warriors are the 8, and right now the Clippers, 2.5 games back, are the 9. So this is a play-in game with still 20-plus games left until we know who's playing one another in the NBA. Games are crucial in the NHL. Your Wings are in Nashville, Mark.
2:00 start, by the way. I got all my stuff done this morning. I'll be sitting on the couch at 2 watching hockey. Can't wait.
And do you bet against the Avs tonight? Because the Kings fired their coach over the weekend. First game with the new coach is tonight at home against the Avs.
Ooh.
You got to put our – come on now.
You got to bet the – Miller and Moulton bet the Kings in this one. First game with the new coach.
In hockey is almost always a W. And the Avs are minus $1.75. You can get like plus 150-ish on the Kings. I say you gotta take a flyer and you gotta do it. College hoops tonight. It's not a big night. There is a play-in game in the Horizon tournament. It's Indianapolis against Cleveland State. Hell, it's not even on a network. It's on ESPN Plus. All right, 220 lost teams. But it officially gets small conference tournament week underway. But let me tell you, ESPN tonight, 7 and 9 o'clock, Duke and Raleigh. And Duke's playing the best basketball they've played all season. NC State, Will Wade, pretty good team, tournament team, inconsistent. NC State hates Duke. That place will be wild tonight.
Doesn't everybody hate Duke?
But, I mean, obviously, you lived there. I mean, there's a few schools I think the level of hate's a little higher than others. Would you take the 9.5? It's a system play. NC State getting 9.5 tonight. And Iowa State and Arizona doing it again. This time in the desert. Both ranked in the top 4. We'll see what the rankings are when they come out later today. Duke to remain number 1 because they didn't lose. So there.
Let me ask you a question on Duke. Does Kentucky hate an SEC team more than they hate Duke?
Ooh.
I mean, maybe right now Arkansas with John Cal there, but I mean, you know what I'm getting at here. I mean, if you were to pin a Kentucky fan down and say, who do you hate the most, Arkansas, Florida, or Duke? I think Duke would win.
I do. Well, but I mean, you know, we all know why.
Yeah, but that's 35 years ago.
Yes, 34 years ago in 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I mean, Vern's on a cruise around the world. I'll still call him if you want. You know.
Do you have a sleep problem but don't want to wear a CPAP mask? This is Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. The mask wasn't working for me, and I didn't think I had an alternative. I do. We all do. They have such simple alternatives with greater success than the mask. Visit sleeptreatmentdirect.com. That's sleeptreatmentdirect.com. And if you are like me and your CPAP machine isn't working for you, it's time for a change. Call 239-444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com, capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your